It's me, that guy. Y'all know me. Actually, let me turn the light on. Ooh, my voice is froggy. There we go. You can see me a bit better. Hair's looking a little goofy. That's all right. Is this a collaboration with a YouTuber with Serf in their handle? You could say that. Not just any Serf. We're going to be with the Serfs, but one of them. And it's Lance. How's the audio? Is the music comparatively to my voice? How's the mix? How's the mix? Anybody tell me about the mix? I'd like some info vis-a-vis the mix. Sounds real good. Sounds real good. Everybody says it sounds good. All right. Hello. Welcome to, I think, my first stream of the year. That can't be right? I must have done a stream this year already. No, I did Splunky one time. I did do Splunky one time. Whatever. That one was... That officially belongs to last year. Now... Every stream this year is going to be the first stream of the year. Here's what's going on with me. It's extremely dry everywhere in the world right now, but particularly in my apartment. And my eyes just hurt all the time. And it does not matter how many eye drops I put in. Music is in another room?
I got the man.
No, it should be in this. It's from my computer. Black Corvo, thank you for the 2 brills. What's the BRL? I always have to ask what the currencies are. This is something that fascinates me to no end. So yeah, just my eyes just won't stop hurting. And I know that sounds like an eyeball zone bit, whatever that is, but it's not. It's my real human eyes. That's COVID? Aw, shit. Fuck, man. Smoke some weed, it will help with the dry eyes. No, it doesn't. Do you think I'm some rube who's never smoked weed? You think you're gonna trick me with weed pranks? Are you not familiar with how Bobby Duke came into being? I know of weed. This is really high quality for a live stream. I don't know what you mean by that. I assume you're joking. Visit an optometrist? Wow, look at JD Rockefeller over here going to optometrists. Wow, must be nice. What's the cutoff for a channel's following that you'd eyeball zone? Asking for a channel that I love? Well, I don't know what the eyeball zone is, but I don't really have a fast and loose rule for which channels get the nod and which don't. Support your local eyeballs. Again, thank you, but I don't know what that means. I assume you're referring to the Solidarity Corner, the brand new segment on Slime videos that I just started doing last week. But I couldn't guess why you make it about eyeballs or something. That's very strange. Visit the racist Discord? Pardon? I don't want to go to a racist Discord. They'll say slurs to me. My eyes hurt enough without having to look at racism. Don't they have optometrists in Canada? Yeah, but they're not covered under OHIP, which is the Ontario Health Insurance Plan premium. I don't know. It's not free, is what I'm saying. You have to pay for it like American medicine. Hey Slime, how does it feel knowing you really fucked up on the Kyle Rittenhouse video bad? Actual Justice Warrior skinned you alive, my guy. Gonna respond to him? No.
Thanks for whatever it is you do.
I don't know what you're referring to. I don't know who Actual Justice Warrior is. And there's literally nothing I said in the Kyle Rittenhouse video that isn't a matter of public record. Like, none of it is just my opinion. It's all, like, straight up fucking, like, straight facts. So, I truly don't give a shit. Red Green's nephew is an anarchist. Who'd have thought? Like, the guy who was his nephew on the show? With the glasses? BRL is Brazilian reais. 1 BRL equals 25 USD. Now, but you got R. What's R? Ruples? Can I send you a fingerboard? The fingerboard community could use more comrades. I don't think so. I'm not gonna be fingerboarding anytime soon. I don't have particularly skilled fingers. Is the Minecraft server going down on the 25th? No, but I will probably reduce the amount of people that can play on it at a time because it's very expensive.
I got the mind.
Zelda rupees. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Real. Howdy from Dallas. Hello, Dallas. Where are you from? Is it surprising that Honest Abe knew Marx? They wrote to each other. I don't know if they knew each other. They knew of each other. I guess everybody would have known of Lincoln. Thoughts on the game Deus Ex? I've never played the original. I've only played Human Revolution. Alright. But Human Revolution was pretty boring. How does one get whitelisted on the Mac server? I assume you mean the Minecraft server? Head on to my Discord server and one of the mods will whitelist you. How do I feel about QAnon disintegrating? It's pretty sick, actually. It's pretty tight. Why are puns a leftist constant? I don't know if that's true, but I fucking hate puns. Puns are jokes that you tell not to amuse other people, but to amuse yourself. And they're never funny. I'm looking sharp and happy. I hope you're feeling it. I don't know what you... I feel like I look... every time I look at my picture, I'm like, wow, I look like utter shit today. My man's got some killer plants back there. I need an introduction. I don't know if they're killers so much as they're dying. None of my plants are doing well. It looks like Lance is giving me a telephone call. Beep. Hey, buddy.
Hi, Matt. How are you? I got the mind.
Oh, no, you're doing the thing that I normally do, where I'm seeing your whole stream screen.
I finally figured out how to stream skiing.
Trump is gone. Racism is defeated.
The thing you just said.
You're really quiet, dog. What's that about?
That's always the case, it seems with me.
What are you hiding?
Right. Have you done the right click on my face in Discord and...
Oh man, now I'm hearing you. Chat, how you hearing Lance? And Lance's chat, how you hearing me?
Well, you sound great.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. I appreciate that.
And I don't know how I sound on your end. I hope good as well.
Yeah, you're fine. You're all right.
I'm just adjusting your camera.
I should.
It looks shiny and new, or at least better than last time.
I think there was some update to. Yes. Oh, you can hear that?
No, but I can see it.
Oh,
It's,
yeah.
that's all it takes.
When
I'm cheap.
when anyone subscribes, it says Burger King. Let's see if I can. I for once I can actually see you, which is uh, new.
Weird.
It's never happened before.
You'll
But
probably
I'll.
see me better. See, if I do full screen like this, I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm large. I'm large on the screen.
yeah.
Thought Slime is too loud for me. All right, let me turn Thought Slime.
Wow.
Don't worry, I got you. Can you talk for 2 seconds so I can adjust on the fly?
One Mississippi, two Mississippi.
How's that? Does that help your ears? I'm talking to chat. And if everyone didn't know, this is Thought Slime of youtube.com/Thought Slime. He does video essays on a variety of topics with no cohesive
I got the money.
unifying principle between them besides it's what he wanted to talk about that week, I do believe. Is that fair?
Yeah, it's mostly like
got the money.
farts and butts.
Yeah.
Sorry, my throat's real froggy today. I'll repeat that in case it wasn't. I didn't enunciate clearly. It's mostly about farts and butts.
Oh, good. I had a couple quick things to say in Pleasantryville.
Okay.
It's been way too long. We should do this again more frequently. I was thinking the other day. I think it's been over a fortnight or several fortnights.
It's been a hot minute. Yeah.
Everyone in my chat is saying Vadim is here. Yes, this is Vadim of Hey, it's Vadim. The other
Burger
Vadim.
King.
Can react to some inauguration memes.
Oh,
I've seen some great shit.
I edited a video about all the ghouls and how they basically instigated, well, not instigated, but really contributed towards a general fear in America that kind of drove them to the point of doing a little mini insurrection-y thing. And I uploaded that yesterday, and the whole thing ends with a kind of a punchline, a supercut of all their grifting. So one after the other, they each do their grifts, and YouTube took it down for scams and spam malpractice. I was going to ask, is that the same thing that you got crowded for?
No, I got crowded for abusive practices and bullying.
Okay. Well, fair enough. Mine's permanently down. I have the strike and everything. Did you end up sorting yours out?
Sorry, my chat is like just never stops. They were saying you're too quiet, so I turned you up. Now you're too loud.
I'll try to. I'll do some ASMR for the rest of this.
Sorry, what was the question?
Oh, did you get the full on strike too? Yours was permanently taken down and like, are you one strike on your account already?
No, so far they've given me 2 strikes, both of which I've gotten them to remove, but both times it was the like warning strike that has no consequences.
Okay. See, I have a strike now.
That's horseshit. Like, that makes no sense.
I know. I completely agree. And now I'm terrified. Normally, I would do this whole thing where I upload it the next day with some slight change in a cheeky middle finger to whoever false flagged it. Whereas now I'm like, I'm you win. I'm gonna put it on Vimeo or some platform where I won't jeopardize my entire channel, because I also lost my channel on Saturday.
Yes.
That was also a thing that happened. I lost one of my entire channels. 40,000 subs just disappeared. So I'm on eggshells when it comes to this stuff.
Can I and I hate to make this about me, but can I tell you a little story about that? And then we can get into that situation. But I was on Saturday in a parallel world where I have consumed drugs. In that parallel world, I was very unexpectedly high on magic mushrooms. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to check Twitter once before I put my phone away for the rest of the afternoon so that Twitter doesn't like ruin my mood. And so the first thing I see is like the surf's taken down. So my mind goes, is this a tweet from the last time that they got taken down? Or are they being taken down now?
No.
Then my mind goes, oh, YouTube's taking down all leftist content. Oh no. And then it went to like the Lance needs my help, but I'm in no position to help. So I'm like, fuck, I'm just like, oh no. And I spent like what felt like an hour trying to like craft an official statement, like of a tweet to say. And like after a while I was just like, okay, no, I just need to walk away because I can't do anything right now.
You're so adorable. That's why you sent me that message on Discord that was like, what can I in my power do to help or something?
Yeah.
I was like, that is really weirdly worded.
That was on the come down, but I was like, because I realized like in that freak out I hadn't like expressed any support or said anything to you, and I was like, oh man. He's gonna think I'm like avoiding him because I don't want like something bad to happen to me. It was a whole day. It was a whole day.
Oh
so,
wow!
yeah.
I'm sorry you had to go through that. Like,
well, I think you had a worse
never...
day, to be honest, than I did, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, fair enough. As someone who's never done a drug before in a parallel universe, I too despise that feeling. That horrifying, like I don't know, spiral of well, for me anyway, it's like self inflection, but with constant doomer vibes almost above it. I don't know how else to explain. Introspection. Sorry, that's the word I was looking for. Introspection.
Yeah,
That's it.
I feel like
Yes.
the word you used was right.
Yeah. Well,
I don't remember
maybe.
what it was, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. How did your parallel self come out of this? Was it just a matter of time?
Well, I hesitate to mention this because people are there's been a lot of speculation that I'm lying about this. And I understand why, because I took a very small dose, I thought, and I had a very strong experience that I shouldn't have been able to have on that dose. But I did go to hell, literally. And I met the snake from the Garden of Eden, who is very nice, by the way, who has gotten a very bad reputation. Gotta say, having met him, nice guy.
Wait, this is on mushrooms?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess they make them out east a lot more strong.
So,
that's wild.
Well, actually, they were from out west, but the thing that was happening was there was this monster that I like kind of brought it on myself because I started getting upset, and then I was just like, ha, nothing can hurt me. This is the most that you can do to hurt me. Like, that's all you got. And so like my fears manifested as this like wasp snake monster. And they were like, no, we're going to make it even worse. And then I got inside a blanket, and I felt like, oh no, I'm in hell now. This is what hell is. It's like I'm devoid of hope, and like it's suffering forever. And what got me out was the snake from the Garden of Eden was just like, hey man, if you think about it, like feeling good and feeling bad are pretty much the same. And I was like, yeah, they are.
I guess that's great advice. That got you out of hell?
That got me out of hell.
And did your... I was gonna say, did your wife walk in the room and you're talking to that plant behind you or something like that?
No,
it's one of those classic scenes.
No, she thought I was asleep.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and then it was a lot of back and forth where like I would go to some dark place and then remember that I was supposed to be like facing all of it and like get really cocksure about it, like. I defeated it. I faced it and won. Like, there's nothing that can stop me. And then my mind would try and do something worse, and then it just kept... It went on for a while.
Oh, that's the worst. Like, yeah, that's when the hours feel like days.
Yeah. Well, at one point, like I went
I'm
to the
glad
washroom
you,
to piss, and it felt like it just turned to nighttime, like in a second. And I
I
was
got
like,
the mind.
oh,
like
right.
as you entered the room.
Yeah, like it just like that, and it was nighttime.
Wow. Well, this is one hell of a trip.
Yeah, and it was only 3 grams. Like it shouldn't have happened.
Oh, always be responsible, everybody who's watching this, please. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say. Is there Minecraft something? Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's wild.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So that was my whole day Saturday.
What was the did you come out of it like, is it one of those positive experiences even though it was scary?
My wife walked in on me at one point and she says, "How are you feeling?" And my exact words to her were, "The category of good and bad no longer apply."
That's pretty brilliant.
That's how it felt, man, because it was like it I don't know how to explain it, but everything felt itself and the opposite at the same time. Does that make any
the
sense?
Alpha and the Omega.
Yeah, but like you could, like there's this idea that everything contains its negation, right? And this is a thing in both like Marxism and Buddhism. And I had been listening to a lot of Alan Watts, so that's probably what like primed me for this. But like
I was gonna say, put those ideas in your head.
I couldn't stop thinking about how everything was just its own opposite. And I saw it like so clearly in a way that like I never understood it before. And so the fact that I was having a very bad time meant that like I was like, but on the other hand, I'm also having like a really amazing time. You know,
Simultaneously.
no words. There are no words for it. It's not like it was a situation where like I dissolved and became part of the singular light that is the universe. Like it's not. It wasn't some ineffable experience. It's just.
But it feels as if the rationale of that philosophy clicked perfectly for you.
Yes. Yeah.
That's really cool. Someone in chat just said, "Was it like battling your mirror self?"
No. It was like this is gonna be this is gonna be a bummer, but I didn't realize how much misery I was carrying around until I was forced to. And then I was like, oh fuck. I didn't know that was there. Like, wouldn't have done this today if I'd known that was there.
But therapeutic at the same time.
Yes. I've felt good since, so.
Well, that's a pretty incredible story. That's really interesting hearing too, especially after, like, I'm sure most people here are familiar with your video and advocacy for psilocybin, and that would be a very good testament to it. Although I would deeply recommend to anyone who does that, please do it safely, because a bad trip is a hell of a thing.
And I will also say, you start small. Start very small, because you can always do more, but you can't do less.
Mm-hmm. That's good advice.
You can always take more.
Yeah,
drugs.
Arrowhead.org
You can't
is a really
untake
good
drugs.
Oh, that's really good. How have you been otherwise? I mean, I don't ask about how Toronto's doing, because I know it's terrible, but
yeah, we're under like a strict lockdown now, and no one's allowed to leave their houses, but some people are being evicted, and also there's no paid sick days. It's Doug Ford has finally
there's no
decided,
freeze on that?
I'm gonna fuck everything up. I'm just gonna fuck everything up now. Nobody's looking,
no
so I can fuck
way.
up stuff if I want to.
No way.
Yeah.
Like, they're not even doing that in America.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
So then what's the plan? You get evicted from your place, and you're just sort yourself out, bootstraps and all that shit.
better find somewhere, man.
Holy fuck, that's dark. That's absolutely horrible. I didn't know he went full evil.
Yeah.
But how are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you? How's your new year going?
Good as well.
Orger.
Weird.
Enjoy my dirty Bezos
just
tokens.
from behind a computer screen, anyway. But it definitely was odd that, like, the what was it? The first week into it, there was that whole coup thing and the insurrection thing, which felt like a really mixed bag for both a leftist and someone who's been doing the same thing as you for a while. Where, like, the two of us focus so much on the Proud Boys, the Boogaloo Boys, the Three Percenters, the alt-righters, these militias that are, like, building power in the U.S. and all that, and then warn people, like, by the way, there's a lot of very widely reported information that there's going to be something bad happening on this date. There's a lot of, like, there's a lot of stuff about that. Here's all this, and then you see it. You see it happen. I don't really know. It was simultaneously shocking and not shocking at the same time.
That's the
perfect. Probably a
perfect.
German word for that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the perfect way to put
Yeah.
it.
I mean, I guess maybe that relates back to your philosophy that
I
you
guess.
discovered.
Yeah. I guess, but
I don't know what happened, but I'm now covering your face.
oh yeah, I'm just trying to get you on my screen. I will.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
But it's.
Well, in the meantime, I'll talk about something completely unrelated. I just watched 3 movie trailers, and all 3 of them were garbage.
What
Every single
movies?
one. So, to both chats, I guess this is more to your chat because my chat already had seen it. The first one is Michael Bay's COVID film, which looks. Well, I don't know if you've heard of it yet. Or
Yeah,
you've seen the
it's the one where it's like COVID 21 or 24 or something.
Yeah, except people are zombies or so. I can't fully gather, which I guess is the very definition of tone deaf. Like it is a horrifying take on everything that's happening. It kind of makes it look as if the lockdown is causing all this. The next one was Chaos Walking, which was even weirder because, man, what a cast. I forget the name of the actor who plays Rey from Star Wars, but and I forget the name of the actor
Ridley.
who plays, is it Chris Holland? Oh, okay. And who plays Spider-Man, the newest
Tom
one?
Holland.
Okay, so the 2 of them together, and I was like, that's neat. And then Mads Mikkelsen is in there too, and I was like, okay, color me intrigued. These are a lot of interesting people, but it's all about how there's this world where there's no women, and all of men's thoughts, like all of their thoughts, are visual apparitions. As in, like, whatever a man is thinking, it'll appear around his face in a kind of bluish purple color.
Okay.
And that's the plot.
Sorry, I fucked up everything on my stream.
I'm looking at your screen right now.
I don't understand what's happening here. Why is this like this?
I can see some of your face a little bit. Oh, I can see your eyes in the top left corner.
I'm so confused why this is happening.
From a Discord call. Oh, hold on. By the way, you can pop out the video from the Discord call and then do a video capture on just that. Might be easier. Pop out the video. All right, hold on. Oh yeah.
I
Oh,
got
hello.
the money.
Why can't I see my fucking face?
I see your starting soon logo. That just happened.
Yeah, I know, because I was switching between scenes.
Oh, okay.
What have I done?
I like how you're completely gone.
I have no idea what's happening.
Oh wait, you came back a square view.
It doesn't make any sense.
You're gonna start coming in like the Brady Bunch. It's gonna be in little cubes on the screen. Oh no, that's actually.
Why?
Oh, You're this you do you do this through OBS?
Yeah.
Okay, in OBS, there could be a layer on top of the other layers that's causing this. Like, I would start turning layers off until you isolate the problem.
There's no other layers on.
Like the fact that I can see. Actually,
Really?
because like the. Oh wait. Oh, you're back.
Now, why does
You
this...
transitioned to a different scene, right?
I did, yeah. Okay. Look, we'll just do that.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah. That's. Hey, it's working. The thing is working, everybody.
I'm never trying that
So-
again. I don't know what I did, but
I'm definitely not worth it. Please don't do that.
all I was doing, I was trying to open up a Chrome window that I cropped to have just the part with you in it.
Yeah, it looked totally normal too for a little while. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
he's just gonna resize it. It'll be fine. He'll just drag it into the corner.
Very confusing.
No, this is fine. This is good. Oh, sorry, and the last one was Tom and Jerry, the live action movie, which is basically Roger Rabbit, but very very cringy. If you can imagine that.
Yeah, I mean, that technology is not so much impressive these days.
No, not.
Why were you watching these particular movie trailers, can I ask?
Oh, because we were like, I have like 5 minutes. Oh, sorry, yes, and sorry, Winston's reminding me the Schneider cut of the new Justice League. We watched that one.
The Rob Schneider
because I
cut.
had like, hey, we had 5 minutes before you came on, and then I was just like, well, what do we do for 5 minutes? I was like, oh, I haven't actually watched movie trailers in a long time, and I used to love watching movie trailers. Like, I really used to love watching them.
Oh, yeah,
but,
man. Going to
I
like
don't-
Apple trailers and just, yeah.
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 Oh, I remember Apple trailers. I would definitely go to Apple trailers and I would eat them all up. But yeah, not anymore because they're all depressing. Just in how bad they all look. I don't know.
Well, it's hard to make movies right now.
It is definitely hard to make movies. That much is true. I lost back in my other life, I lost my full-time job when COVID first started because the film industry completely shut down.
But that allowed you to become the 4K Andy you are now, so...
Not quite a 4K Andy, but
I'm pretty sure I've seen you at 4K.
I don't think I've been 4K, but I'm definitely doing good. I'm not trying to sound ungrateful for everyone's love and support.
I'm pretty sure I've seen
You know.
4K people over at twitch.tv/the Serfs TV.
And if not, make it happen right now.
Go.
Even all of you. I know we don't have anything planned unless you had something off the top of your head. I know we haven't done this in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't been.
I didn't have any.
I haven't been plugged into the Chutosphere, but I mean, worst comes to worst, there's always our old friend, our best pal, smartest guy in the room. I'm talking, of course, about Tim Pool.
Well, I was saying, would you want to just have ourselves a classic? Because we haven't done it in a long time.
Let's do it.
I mean,
let's see how he's grown as a person.
Okay. All right.
You got me set
Well,
up there?
As per. Well, I'm actually going to do the whole open it up and see what the topics are. Oh, you're shrinking. But that's intentional, right?
Yeah,
I got
that's
some
Do you know you're
money.
shrinking?
that's not actually the camera. The room is shrinking.
Oh. Timcast is live right now to 47,000 human beings.
47,000 people. Wow.
47,000. That's bigger than a lot of stadiums.
That's just
Full of people.
makes you think, you know? Ah, dang it.
Oh no, you become a cartoon.
Fuck, man. 1 second.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay. I'm back. Back in the New York groove.
Hello.
Hello. I got this thing. Did you you sent me a watch together link?
Oh, I haven't sent you. I haven't sent you anything yet.
Uh,
I've been a bad boy. I am doing it now. So you now have the link to the room. And while you sort yourself out, do you want me to read out topics, potential
yeah.
episodes for everybody?
Yeah.
I got
All right,
the money.
chats. You'll have a say. So let us know which of these you like. Journalists already ask who will be the next president. It's obviously a picture of Kamala.
Ted Cruz.
Article calls for more spying to prevent DC-style riots. Trump slammed for pardoning corrupt cronies. Leftist magazine cover shows Jesus Joe Biden. It is beyond parody. I suggest that one personally because I've only heard rumors, but apparently they went on for over 20 minutes about the cover of Jacobin, not knowing that it's a parody. It's 20 minutes of two adult humans not getting a joke. So
that does sound incredible.
I mean, it does sound pretty incredible, right?
Yeah. I'm with you on that, but are we usually, it's the second video we let the audience decide, right?
Okay, so my personal pick would be that one between the two of us.
I think as well.
Burger King.
Oops.
Burger King.
Okay, I have to make a new watch together because
So for those of you that don't know,
I'm gonna have to send you a new.
Those of you who don't know who Tim Pool is,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Stop watching now.
Burger
Preserve your innocence. You can still walk away without learning about the Beanie Goblin.
Burger King.
He's perhaps the world's most dishonest man. Would you say that's fair, Lance?
Burger King.
Ooh. Oh, that's tough. That's tough.
Got so many.
We know a lot of dishonest men.
So many Burger Kings are going on right now.
Get some subs up in here.
I gotta see who just.
Let me.
Malloy, thank you for the gift subs.
I had to send you a new room, by the way. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Look, shit happens, you know.
Right.
Beep. Pop.
And we'll talk about Joe.
All right, I'm excited. It's been a while.
I know. Whew. All right, I gotta practice. Get back in the groove, you know.
All right, I'm ready when you are.
Do you want to have? Yeah. Do you want to have clicking power for now?
I feel like I'm never good at the clicking. I feel like it should be you.
Okay.
You.
I will click. Giddy up.
And we'll talk about Joe Biden being president and this glorious image from Jacobin magazine. Now, I'll tell you what I find particularly fascinating about this is Jacobin is like socialist. Like they're DSA, there's like communism. They get their name from the French Revolution.
Could I just say,
put a cover out.
It's amazing.
It's Joe Biden.
Tim Pool has Twitter in day mode. Like, of course he does. Like,
yeah, I know. I've remarked upon that before too.
This image is so clearly a parody. I thought it would be a little more ambiguous.
Were you hoping that it was going to be a little more subtle?
Yeah, but it's very clearly.
Excellent. 24-minute video, by the way.
And as Jesus with the sun behind his head, literally imagery of Jesus.
It's a halo,
and there are
you idiot!
people below him, like looking.
Yes, it's definitely a halo. It's the sun, literally right behind you, emanating light, the light of God, clearly.
Who's this new weed lord?
Christianity and
This is
hearing
sorry.
and worshiping
I don't know
him.
why I jumped ahead. It's glitchy. That's Moonlord. He replaced Weedlord with Moonlord. And it's Moonlord because he's got a lot of videos. Moonlord is one of those people who's got his own kind of. I've done a deep dive of his personal channel. He has his own YouTube channels, and they are out there. They're out there for Tim Pool levels, where he's got videos. He screams in tears at the camera to mine the moon, but he's genuinely serious. He's like, "You have to mine the moon to save us all. What is wrong with you?" That's Tim Pool's new co-host. Yeah.
Oh,
So.
I mean, that does sound like something Weed Lord would say.
him. There's angels filming and interviewing him. What are these people thinking?
This smacks of the French Revolution. This was what's his name?
Really?
Smacks of the French Revolution.
Jacobins. You think the magazine that is named after French revolutionaries is going to shrink at that comparison?
But that I don't know if this religious. I maybe I'm wrong. I don't know if the religious iconography had anything to do with the French.
Yeah, pretty sure.
But he actually became. They wanted to get rid of Christianity, and he portrayed himself as a deity and came down from the mountain. And he wanted to create a new religion around himself. And this is like I don't know if they don't know that, or if this is a sick joke, or if they really are like
maybe
zealous.
that's why they're doing it.
I mean, politicians are not supposed to be worshipped. They are servants. They're supposed to be serving the people. And I don't care if it's Joe Biden, QAnon, Donald Trump. Stop with this obsession with putting people above yourself. And
Sorry, this comic he has behind him, that's made by a literal neo-Nazi.
Yeah, it's the same one who did the dancing on the graves, the doctors, the most vile thing that Tim Pool's ever done.
Yeah,
he's got his comics framed all around the studio.
Like that guy's like Stone Toss level reactionary. He's not like just had to say that.
Yep.
putting all of their responsibilities and all your failures and all your hopes into one person and take some gosh darn personal responsibility for yourself, you mother.
We're supposed to be saying.
Okay, sorry.
You absolute mother fuckers. Sorry, my dad walked in the next room, so I couldn't swear.
I should also add, someone saying in chat that person that's speaking right now is the artist. I don't know what he looks like because I don't know who that person speaking is. Yeah, I've never encountered it.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
he's got exactly.
We're
like
supposed to be doing this.
Fair enough. Well, I'm not gonna confirm that yet. That's not. If there's fact checkers, if someone is watching us right now and hate watching us, if it's super meta, if someone's hate watching us, hate watching Tim Pool, don't. That's not canon. All right. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yes, we're supposed to be seeing our chairs going. Joseph, come here, clean up this mess. We've hired you to take care of these problems.
Hope everyone
Instead,
is having
they
a
create
great
the
day.
problems, and they do whatever they want. They enrich themselves. They're not solving the problems. I think we were talking about this before. The difference between a statesman and what we currently have with crony politicians. Someone who actually gets into office, who gets elected and says, I'm going to go in and focus.
Not what a civil servant is. The term civil servant doesn't refer to literally being able to order them around and get them to like feed you grapes while you lie back in a Shea lounge. Like it's like I don't recall. I don't recall when Trump was in office, Tim making these demands of Trump. Like
That's true.
Focus on solving these problems for you. And then we have like one or two who actually do. But when you have a media ecosystem that is acting like Joe Biden is literally Jesus, then I don't see how we actually solve problems. Just to clarify my point, Joe Biden.
The thing that astonishes me, that I think we hold these truths to be self-evident with this whole thing, is like, do they not know Jacobin is a left-wing publication?
Well,
that's like,
not only that,
of all the papers to choose.
Not only that, but like this is a joke, and they're getting this worked up about it. But you look at all those like McNaughton paintings of Trump like standing next to Jesus, and like God putting his hand into Trump's hand so that he can sign bills, and like people literally calling Trump the God Emperor, and like this silly cartoon where there's like they're making reporters into angels. Like this is where you draw the line. Like it's.
Oh, by the way, one of my mods is saying that's Luke Radowski. He runs We Are Change. He was at Occupy and early on the YouTube 9/11 Truther and QAnon movements.
So someone asks,
Biden,
is he this dumb or is he grifting? And the answer, yes.
To both?
Yes.
could do really.
Well, you know what's odd? People who have met Tim Pool say that he's not actually a grifter. That like he believes this stuff. He's just like disillusioned or something.
I kind of get that vibe from him sometimes, but it's like a willful
Yeah.
belief.
Yeah, of course.
really horrible things, and they don't care. But it's funny because they say the same thing about Donald
I'm
Trump.
kind of at a place where it's like, just let them have their fun. But I don't know. What were you going to say, Jack?
I was just going to say, how are you going to criticize Jesus?
Yeah, come on.
This dude who's on camera right now isn't a Proud Boy, despite it looks. I mean, he could be outside of it, but he runs his own organization about a fraternity of men. Who, I kid you not, I did a deep dive of his tenets and rules. He wants to improve grip strength.
Okay.
Because he says that men have lost grip strength over the years, and it's making them too feminine.
Yeah.
So that's part of their tenets.
You know,
to improve.
of the goals that I have heard far-right extremists express over the past few years, that's one of the ones I have less of a problem with. I wouldn't mind having
I
pants.
agree.
Yeah.
It's relatively benign in terms of their demands. It's like, we demand more grip strength. I'm like, okay, I mean, maybe I'll work on it a bit in my spare time.
Sure, yeah. Look, I'll tell you what. You stop trying to take over the government, and I promise I'll squeeze the little thing many times a day.
Yeah.
We got a deal?
I'll squeeze some more inches.
This guy doesn't have
Said
the
it could
grip
be
strength to
untouchable,
hold
and
on
then I'm also-
to a fucking clipper for his beard. And here he's lecturing us about grip strength? Like,
Also reminded, and I'm about ready to do this thing I hate where I say, what about? I'm also reminded about this summer when they were tearing down statues of Abraham Lincoln, where Lincoln's standing there, and he's got his hand out, and there's a slave on his knees breaking out of his chains and standing up. A joy like raptures face up to Abraham Lincoln. This cover with Biden as Jesus hovering above a black family in masks, looking up at him.
It's the
he's got-
joke.
that is no different.
Well, it is. I mean,
yeah, wow.
by a left-wing magazine.
Really making me appreciate the satire.
Also-
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, at first I was like, well, this is a little tongue-in-cheek, little on the nose for Jacobin, and now I'm like, oh wait.
It's also like they can't help but show their own asses about how if this was the other way around, they'd be in favor of it. Because they're like, oh, they got mad at the time we compared a president to a god in a good way. But now they're comparing the president we don't like to a god, and that's not right.
Yeah, the amount of like Trump is a muscular Sylvester Stallone circa 1994 character, like art and images that were published and that they would use like unironically. I'm not saying specifically Tim Pool, just people on the right all the time.
The amount of like Ben Garrison
I guess technically-
unironically portrayed Trump as a superhero with like a muscular physique.
Yes. That got so bad. I believed the monstrous dong ones that turned out to be parodies afterwards. But when like I started seeing those, I was like, yeah, of course Ben Garrison is drawing Trump with this monster dong, and there's Karl Marx with an even bigger dong. I'm like, I was like, no.
I thought you meant by what you just
What
said
did you-
that you saw so many Ben Garrison cartoons that you started to believe Trump had a monster dong. Like you just started thinking, well, I guess that's one thing he does have is a big, huge dong.
Yeah, I mean, Ben Garrison has taught me nothing else. Both can be true. Por qué no los dos?
the statue of Abraham Lincoln was paid for and built, organized by former slaves who were saying thank you to Lincoln. Now the leftists today got that statue removed. They actually removed it. It was in Boston. I can't believe it. They took it down.
There's one in D.C. they're trying to take down too. Same statue.
They're taking it down because they're like, it shows that black people were at one point slaves, and so they want to erase it. They don't want that idea to exist. So they got rid of it.
I don't think that's why, dude. I was
gonna say, but sure. Let Tim have this one.
This is people worshiping Jesus Biden.
Okay, I'm sorry. What's the source on that? Or is that just straight from the beanie? Like, did he read that in the Daily Mail? Like, do you feel secure enough in just saying that without any factual backing to say that out loud? Like, that's the reason. That's the
missed
reason
him so much.
They're worried about this.
I missed him so much, Lance.
Yeah, that one's unreal. Had it not been for the statue, they would have never known that black people were enslaved.
It's racist. That's what the left, the SJW left, they're all about stopping people from remembering that slavery happened.
Yeah, learning about slavery.
Yeah, they don't want anyone to learn about it or feel bad about it or whatever. It's like, yeah.
It's too bad you don't have your Tim Pool bingo anymore, because I think we just hit probably like 3 of them, right?
Man,
Who hasn't done anything? What did he do?
He
defeated the
Tara
devil.
Reid up against the wall.
Yeah, he
and
defeated the devil. There you go. The evil
He hasn't
Trump.
done anything.
He may have.
That's the point. That's the whole... So mad about that. He hasn't done anything.
It's like we laugh and then you remember 47,000 people care what this man thinks.
Right now.
Right now.
47,000 are watching that live. I know. Right now. Yeah, I know. It pulls you out of it. It pulls you away.
What would they call it? Sexual aggressive acts against Tara Reid in the
And children and
in his
Oh yeah,
workplace.
no, funny stuff.
It's really hard
Funny
because I
stuff.
feel
Yeah,
like
hilarious.
the things they threw at
Cutting
Trump
edge.
were preemptive defensive techniques. Like, you better accuse Trump of it before it comes at us.
Yes.
Because the Democrats are swimming in the corruption and the swamp. And so they're like, let's make sure everybody thinks Trump is corrupt for, like, the emoluments clause, for instance.
Matt,
Joe Biden sending his kid to China on Air Force 2.
That's
a bit different.
it's like we live in the Empire from Star Wars, and it's like people just want to just chill out and just accept it. You just want to be a citizen, man.
money.
I completely agree with Moonlord.
Yeah, no, it's just
I don't
like
know how often
Star
this will
Wars.
happen, but
Yeah,
yeah.
No.
It's Star Wars. You know?
I got the money.
We're Star Wars.
yeah, and there's no historical
And
precedent.
we live in
for...
the Empire. Well, I'm so curious. Does he think he's just like a stormtrooper in the middle of all this, or
No, I
is-
think he
is
thinks
going
he's
to
part of the
be,
rebellion,
like,
right? He thinks he's like a Jedi.
Oh, okay. Because right, because he said, "Well, is he a Jedi infiltrator?" He's like, "We live in the Empire," so that's why I'm curious about this now. I'm like, well, that's why I'm saying he's not actually wrong. I guess the U.S. is the Empire.
Yeah, but
he
he's
got that much.
But he's right for the wrong reasons.
Yes, as is usually the case.
You just want to reap bits of the Empire controlling all these planets and countries or whatever.
Well, so this is the thing. I was mentioning this
Had to
earlier.
pull back-
I
pull
tweeted.
back down.
I often wondered what pro-empire propaganda would look like in the Star Wars universe, and it's because we have the entirety of DC locked down by the National Guard, many of whom have no idea why they're there. In order,
Okay, so now because Joe Biden's taken over, it's the Empire. Like now, America is the evil empire, but before it was the rebellion. But now we've switched over.
So this is how democracy dies. To thunderous applause. It's
Everybody
boy,
laugh.
it really can't be said enough that like Tim
I got
Pool's
the
entire
money.
worldview comes from pop culture, and like pop culture
yeah.
from the last like 20 years. Like it's all like Marvel movies
Yeah.
and Star Wars and shit. Like it's
American pop culture from the last 20 years. American mainstream pop culture from the last 20 years. Well, actually, sorry, I should have said that. Pop culture, by definition, is going to be mainstream. I'm Tim Poolian.
get
already.
in, you've got to show your papers proving you have legitimate business. Why? Because the storming of the Capitol? I don't think we need 25,000 troops locking down the entire Capitol.
No, as Adam Townsend said on Twitter, it's about imprinting history on people's brains. So that in 20, 30, 40, 50 years, they just look back and they're like, oh, things must have been terrible. They had to have 25,000 troops in the Capitol. No one will remember the nuance. I've lived in D.C.
the
for 30 years.
nuance. Yeah, the nuance, of course.
I
Yeah,
forgot the nuance.
all the nuance. Yeah, no one's gonna remember all the good things the attempted coup did.
Yeah, what about the good things QAnon pulled off in their time? Also, like, I think they're gonna remember that there's 400,000 dead Americans and that it was a pandemic and that,
more-
it was a shitty time.
More Americans died of COVID-19 so far than of World War II. Like
Yeah, that's probably what they'll remember.
that shit's fucked up, dog.
Yeah, incredibly.
I've been through a number of inaugurations. I have never once heard of incoming traffic shut down over the bridges coming into the city.
I
The
wonder
area that
what
they
was
blocked off
different
is-
this time. I wonder,
It's baffling to me. They just had a whole bunch of like little flags representing people. I don't know why they would do that. What's the reasoning behind any of this? You know,
just shutting down the bridge. It's like, they're acting like a bunch of people tried to kill him a couple of weeks ago. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's almost like there was an attack, a domestic attack, if you will, on the Capitol building. The very same one that they're going to have to do this whole ceremony on. So, yeah.
It's like
They blocked off from Virginia into D.C.
It's like 20 times the size of anything that had ever been blocked off before. It was just mind-boggling. Troops marching. Troops marching down the streets.
Yeah, there's a famous meme going around right
do.
now with all the soldiers and the motorcade going through, and it says, "We defeated fascism."
Yeah.
And again, those images are extremely visceral for a reason, and we have to ask ourselves, why did we do this? Why did we lock down the capital of the United States under
I just have to point
a
something
military
out.
occupation when there was no protest?
It's ridiculous for them to complain about Joe Biden like being portrayed as Jesus in this cartoon when he has Joe Biden drawn as a child-eating monster, like framed and hanging behind him. Like his comic literally portrays Joe Biden as a demon from hell eating children. Like, how is that any different?
You don't understand the nuance of the situation.
The nuance.
Yeah.
It's no protest. I'm hearing a lot of reports of no protesters at all being seen anywhere near even the vicinity of Washington, D.C. protesting Biden.
It was the opposite. Every single like Trump forum was like, don't go to D.C. People were saying like, don't do it, don't go.
But on the mainstream media, we heard nonstop 24/7 breaking news coverage of threat assessments. It's going to get bad. It's going to get ugly. It's going to get bloody and dangerous. And what happened?
It was such a winning move, though, because now all they can say is, like, there was a threat, we responded to the threat, and we prevented it from...
No, that was the response. Like, the troops were the response to the threat that happened during the insurrection. There's not another, like...
It's just surreal to hear them talk about this, because it's like, there's all of these troops, and they're like... And there's no protesters. You think those two things might be connected, dude?
Yeah. And nothing happened. Nothing. Can you believe?
happening.
Oh, yeah. Because we put the troops there.
Yeah, it's a winning move no matter what.
And think about the media narrative right now and how, say, Wikipedia works. They just take whatever op-ed, and I'm not serious. I'm serious. They take op-eds. And someone will say there was an insurrection. It's all about framing. So I'm sure if you now look at what the historians are writing, they're going to say there was an attempted insurrection by white supremacist terrorists.
These fucking
and then in 50
historians.
years, that's what they want everyone. History is written by the victors. They want everyone to look back
Let
at
me
this day
tell
and say Trump's army of white supremacists stormed the Capitol, planning
They're
to
just going
kill
to write
kidnap
everything
members.
that happened.
And so the troop.
Like, they're just going to write down what happened on January 6th. And people are going to read about
the
it.
events?
And, like, then they're going to come away thinking the truth and, like, about the events of things that actually happened. It's fucking, like, what? It's like 1984.
I was going to say, very Orwellian. This whole thing is Orwellian from the start.
Troops were deployed to protect the city to prevent another insurrection. It was a trying time.
And they did it, and they successfully were able to fight it back. And it's only going to get worse from here as we're seeing very extreme language from individuals like John Brennan, the former CIA director that literally lied under oath about so many different things, whether spying or the Steele dossier. He came out today on the mainstream media and he said the Biden
he was on the mainstream media?
Moving in, quote, laser-like fashion to uncover the Trump insurgency and the people who harbored it, including religious extremists, authoritarians, fascists, bigots, nativists, and even libertarians.
This was libertarians?
He said yes. John Brennan said that Biden's intelligence agencies are moving in laser-like fashion against libertarians.
That's a political party.
Yes. That's why I tweeted the video out because I couldn't believe it because I saw people talking about it. But we have the former CIA director, the epitome of the deep state, talking about Biden going after libertarians now because of everything that happened?
The nativist thing was particularly interesting to me.
Yes.
They're making it now that if you oppose immigration in any way, you're an ist of some sort. And they're making nativists
Yes!
like racist. So I was listening.
Yes, you are. Yes.
They.
The right is always mad when there are words to describe their beliefs. It's like,
Yes.
It's like, that's just,
Yes.
it's not a moral judgment to call someone a nativist. They just are that thing. The fact that like everybody hears that and gets mad at them is because the idea sucks shit. Like,
Yep.
just have better ideas
Yeah.
and people won't give you mean names.
Stop giving us descriptions of the things we are, please.
didn't do a 1 p.m. segment today because I had to watch the inauguration. And that was happening at the same time I normally, produce and record. And I remember when Joe Biden mentioned, rejecting the hate of nativists. And I was like, it's a really interesting choice of words. Now people who are like, you're native to the country, you get preferential treatment is wrong. It's an ist.
Yes.
And they're going to use it like racist. I would, so already.
So wait.
No, that is wrong, Tim. You can't just, yes.
So,
So,
what
yeah.
say? What's next? Yeah, it is. It's wrong.
Like,
So
he
now.
could at least, like, he started with like, if you're opposed to immigration in any way, so that he could amend by that, like, oh, if you're opposed to like dissolving borders or just allowing anyone in, allowing people in with horrible criminal records. Still a shitty opinion, but like that doesn't make you a nativist, right? But to say specifically that it's wrong to treat people differently if they are natural citizens than if they're immigrants. Oh, that makes you a nativist now. All of a sudden, that makes you a nativist.
Yeah, it's pretty uncanny. It's a uniquely Tim Pool scenario.
It's wild.
It's good. Well, it's like what if someone was like, I hate gay people, but for some reason now they call you a homophobe. Like what? You're a homophobe if that's your thing? Like I have a phobia against homosexuals. I don't understand why they keep using this word to describe me.
It's like if I was scared of spiders, they wouldn't call me an arachnophobe.
No, that wouldn't make sense.
Native to means American.
Yes.
Right. So if you're an American,
Yes.
and believe that that's important and a good thing.
Lance, I just wanted to get your opinion on that sentence as an indigenous person. Do you feel that the word native means American?
Well, I was deeply wondering if they're gonna try that, if they're gonna go down that road. I was like, are they gonna use native as in like, oh, this is the root of the word, so clearly, this can't possibly be the case.
Well, let's see. I look forward to finding out if the concept of indigenous people even comes up in this discussion of nativism.
YouTube already made the rule a year ago that if you disparage non-citizens for being not citizens, you will be banned.
But most importantly, he went on and he said all of these things, nativists, libertarians, are a threat to democracy and are insidious. Those are his exact inflammatory words that are extremely reckless, extremely dangerous, but also, most importantly, extremely untrue. When we talk about libertarians, what are they guilty of? Not liking the government, being unsuccessful in politics, having
being pedophiles. That's
Yeah,
a big one.
that's pretty much it. Pedophilia.
Yeah.
Oh,
ready
I just-
candidates,
Wait,
having some ideas about
Just to correct people in chat, because everyone's asking, Lance, your First Nations? Technically, no. My mom's Métis, and so First Nations, you wouldn't describe that as that. You usually use the term Indigenous because that's a big branch to include all of the different kinds of Indigenous people in Canada. But I'm not First Nations. No, that's separate. That's different.
I learned
individual
something
sovereignty. What are they guilty of? What do they do?
How do you lump a libertarian in with a fascist?
Yeah, when everything. Again, this is another thing we need to realize here.
So I'm just realizing this now. They think fascism is like a political party. They not an ideology. They don't think there's such a thing as a libertarian fascist. They're like, well, there's fascists and there's libertarians, and clearly, if I'm a libertarian, I couldn't be a fascist as well, right? They're conflicting ideologies.
I mean, they should be. I mean, if libertarians actually believed what they claim to believe, they should be conflicting ideologies.
Yeah.
It's just, in practice, the type
Yeah,
of
of
people
course.
who claim to be libertarians happen to hang out with fascists a lot because American libertarianism is like founded on opposition to civil rights. So it's like it's white supremacy is like baked into it. Like it's like the amount of people at that fucking fascist coup with "Don't tread on me" flags. You know, like
Oh my god, so many snakes. So many snakes.
This whole Democratic Party was built as a large hammer hitting nails. So if you're a hammer, everything's going to start looking like nails for you because that's your single duty. That's the main kind of apparatus. That's how the Democratic Party gained power in 2020. Let's be honest here. They took down a lot of people, and that's how they were able to step on them and get a step above everybody else.
What does that mean?
They know that works. They know that this is going to be implemented
talking
even
about
more
treading
before
upon.
this, and it doesn't take a genius to see that the writing is on the wall, that we're going to see an expansion of this moving forward.
Yeah, I think it's important to point out, too, that this process started in the 60s when the Democrats made a very conscious decision to make themselves the party of everybody but the white guy and to go against the white guys in the late 60s, 1968. If you want to learn more about this, check out Matt Stoller's.
Democrats famously hating white people. Yeah.
But he's talking about the Southern strategy. He's saying that Democrats choosing to support civil rights in opposition to Republicans deciding to campaign specifically against civil rights is them deciding to go for everyone but white people. He is literally, oh God, like.
But
They just say it.
How...
They just say it, Lance. Like you don't even have to read it. They just go on. They go live and they just say it out loud to people. Like it's
to 47,000 people
Order
live
King.
right now. So, yeah, there's not going to be any pushback, by the way.
No, of course
There's
not.
not going to be Tim being like, yeah, it's like, well, I don't know. That's strange. You would speak of the Southern strategy in that way. That's less of a dog whistle, more of just like you being racist on air. But no, none of that's going to happen. That's just like,
I gotta tell you, I keep hearing from these people that it's so hard to be white. It's been pretty fine. It's been fine for me. I don't know what their problem is. I'm not running into any issues. Like,
I'm white. I'm like as white passing as it gets. It's been completely trouble free. It's I guess that's what they say, right?
yeah.
Book Goliath, whole big detailed section about the deliberate course of action that the Democrats took. And so the nail is white dudes and the hammer is what now? The state and all the non-white dudes behind them.
The state,
And
the
that's-
CIA,
and-
the FBI.
And
Go
that's
ahead.
why when Alex was here, he said, "I am a gorilla." But love yourself.
We can all
Because
agree with
the
that.
idea of that book.
My video got permanently taken down for like talking about the insurrection,
Right.
and they get to do this.
Yeah,
like,
but
that just crossed my mind. They get to like
They
this
get
is
to-
okay.
they get
this,
to say
this
that-
is totally fine.
they get to say that non-white people are weapons of the state, and then talk about their good friend Alex Jones, and that's cool.
Like this is also really close to like white genocide stuff, you know, as in like the Democrats now the enemy of white people, and they're coming like, and they're an apparatus of the state, and they're the hammer coming towards the white race. Like
That's full on Turner Diaries.
Am I
shit.
reading too much into this?
That's the plot of the Turner Diaries. Like
Right. Like I was like, this sounds like a video I watched maybe on a book I would never read.
Beardo just said that
I got
the hammer in this instance is non-white people. That's like and the nails are white people. Like you can't get much more explicit than that. I'm aghast. Like this is.
I'm glad it's just not me.
Yeah, I like Tim Pool. I know that he has like some sort of ear disorder where he can't hear dog whistles. But you'd think if someone just stood in front of him and said, like, "Hey, bud, I'm a big racist over here. Look at me, I'm a big racist. By the way, clip that. Have fun with that one." He would at least go like, "Oh well, that doesn't sound great." Like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, your response wouldn't be to just be like, okay, well, yeah, you just said they're an enemy of the white race. Segue.
Book was the discussion we were having was that the establishment wants you to live in the wilderness. They want you to live, like we used to hundreds of years ago, and that was the general concept. To be completely honest, I think people would do well to get out into the wild.
That sounds like a good prescription.
But the idea was like destroying modern civilization and technology because we're destructive. It reminds me of The Matrix when Agent Smith is like,
doesn't happen in The Matrix.
humans are not animals; they're viruses. I'm not gonna.
Humans are the virus. No, he's doing an eco-fash right now. I know the quote he's mining. It's an eco-fash quote.
Yeah, but
and we are the cure.
he's saying my enemies are doing
pop
this,
culture
but
envy.
also I think it's a good idea. Like, they're trying to make us all live out in the woods. Now we should, but they're trying to make us do it.
Which sounds like it sounds like the Anne Prim dream. Come on.
They're just like the bad guys in the science fiction movie. Yeah.
Yeah, the other one I know.
I do the whole speech. Basically, what he says, because animals, he says, build a natural equilibrium with their environment, whereas humans just reproduce, move around, and destroy, and like a virus. That's the same idea from my understanding from that book. And so the idea is to get humans back into stability with the natural environment.
You're not
and then
meant
requires
to agree with Agent Smith in that
Serf Slime
scene.
all day.
He's not the protagonist. The eco-fash.
The guy who has one of our heroes tied up and is torturing him. There are some subtle clues late in the movie that he's actually the bad guy, if you can believe it. I know it's against type for Hugo Weaving to play the bad guy. But...
Yeah, first time I've seen that.
So now I think what we're seeing, especially with the Great Reset, especially with the Democratic politicians who have defied their own lockdown orders.
Orwellian.
The idea is, if the rich people are to maintain their lifestyles, everyone else has to sacrifice with them.
King.
So that's what they want. That's what we want.
Well, yes.
All the climate change stuff.
Yeah,
that's the thing you like.
That's kind of how the whole House of Cards works. That's it.
Oh, jeez.
You did it.
Oh, if only there were some people trying to tell you about this for a while. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read Ishmael. Am I supposed to talk about that right now? It was
Yeah.
like 12 years ago. Ishmael.
Please. Ishmael's a great book. I read Ishmael too. Come on, Moonlord. Bring us home.
The book where the gorilla comes from. The gorilla is called Ishmael that
see.
Alex
Mascot, yes.
mentioned. And in the book, they talk about takers and leavers. Humans have kind of divided into these tribes of types of people. One is the takers. And that there's so many takers right now in the world that, and the leavers we've basically desecrated. I think they refer to like the Native Americans as leavers in a lot of ways, protecting the land, although they were massacring buffalo and each other and eating each other. I mean, it was pretty vicious.
Here we go. Whoa!
But the idea is to become
It's
Oh!
Here we go.
I gotta tell you, for a minute there, I was like, I'm surprised that he would say that they're leavers and talk about how they protected the land,
No,
and then
I knew it.
whoosh
I
away in the other direction.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I knew it. I was like, I don't know if you could see it. I actually my head hit the microphone because it's like, oh fuck no, Moonlord is gonna drop some obscenely racist shit right now. I know it's gonna happen.
That would.
And by the way, as someone who has read Ishmael, the ultimate takeaway from it is how other animals on Earth they form this homeostasis with the living environment around them, and that how humans should learn to live that way. That's the lesson at the end of the novel, is that we should try to find an equilibrium, a balance, if you will, with the natural world, because we haven't. We're consuming it is the point of it. Not whatever was just uttered.
No, I'm pretty sure it's about how native people are cannibals. I'm pretty sure. I haven't read it, but yeah. When I think of
the buffalo and themselves.
When I think of groups that really slaughtered buffalo unnecessarily, it's definitely indigenous people. that did that one.
Oh, no question. No question.
That wasn't a thing that
Not
white people did as a
partaking.
deliberate act of genocide to like cut off the food supply. No.
Sometimes for sport, not for food, sustenance, or clothing. Just cause.
You can look
there
in
were so
history
many
textbooks of like the huge piles of dead buffalo that they would go out and they would kill all of them so that the Native Americans had nowhere to hunt. Like that was the
exactly.
It's
Yep.
ways, and that I think has a lot of merit.
That's the difference between being a producer and a consumer.
Wait, that has a lot of merit.
Leave,
Moonlord,
leave
the
the
last
world a
thing you
better
said?
place
No.
than how you found it.
The problem
Oh,
is,
okay.
I don't trust the people who are pushing this kind of garbage. And now we're getting it tenfold with Joe Biden. He's going in, Paris Climate Agreement, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so
critical race theory.
Even if you do think it's a good idea,
None
really
of the
look
executive
askance
orders
at
were about
people
critical
who are
race
pushing
theory.
it. People like
I'm astounded he still pushes that, considering he was proven time and time again that he doesn't even understand what critical race theory is. That's
but
that is
none
ridiculous.
of them do.
And no,
none of them do. Like
Yeah.
the amount of
fair,
people that I've gotten
fair.
messages from saying like, just giving me like the wildest ideas about what critical race theory is, because they made some video where I went over like a very 101 like Wikipedia level understanding of it, right? Like here's the basic of what it is. I don't understand why everybody's mad about this. And the amount of like wild nonsense people have sent me saying what critical race theory is, because they think it's this like white people are evil, and
anti-white.
Yeah,
they think it's so anti-white. That's it. It's like you're taught to learn about how white people are evil and all this stuff. It's like that has nothing to do with critical race theory.
They think
don't listen to Charlie Kirk about this.
They think it's like a classroom where everything they think about people of color, someone teaches the people in the class is actually true about white people. Like that's
100%. 100%. Yep, that's it.
I don't know, Bill Gates, whoever, George Soros.
Bill Gates pushing it while at the same time acquiring every last piece of available farmland in America.
And now he's the largest farm owner in all of the United States.
I doubt that.
Wow. Yeah, Mr. Monsanto, the man who like bankrolled pretty much Monsanto with all the stock purchases, is now in control of the United States food supply in many ways.
But now, if you had all that money and you knew that we were going to print up trillions of dollars, what is
only one thing we can do about that? Obviously, we got to expropriate the means of production and give them back to the workers. I mean, I agree with them. It's a big problem that Bill Gates has all this farmland. Why don't we go take it back? Come on, comrades! Like, why do you think that was allowed to happen?
Let's do it. Nice. Hannah calculated on her stream, Bill owns 0.0001% of the farmland in the U.S. Whoa, I didn't know that about Bill Gates. Why is he doing this? You just did a documentary on Bill Gates. Sorry, Bill Gates. Did that come up at all, or?
No, I didn't. I didn't know that. My thing on Bill Gates was I don't know if you were talking to me, but my thing was about philanthropy and the kind of ruse of Bill Gates's philanthropy.
Oh, and you've also done it. I was thinking of the debunk one on.
On the vaccines, yeah.
But I was just wondering when you were, my point being, if you were like researching Bill for the vaccine conspiracy theory, was there anything about this like farm conspiracy theory that he's trying to just like buy up?
There wasn't.
No. Okay.
I only really started hearing that like last week.
Yeah. Weird.
What is the best thing to buy in that case?
Beachfront property, because of course there's climate change and we have to worry about the rising ocean tides, as Bill Gates literally bought oceanfront property. So that tells you everything that we need to know about
but
individuals
raw
like
land
that.
and farmland over time have tracked money supply pretty closely.
Yeah.
So that's a good place to be. He must think that there's a lot of inflation coming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Drink.
So here was the here was the joke I mentioned. So we have this from on Twitter from Balagis, is that how you pronounce his name?
Oh, Balagi.
It says he tweeted up and to the right, and it's a picture of the M1 money stock skyrocketing.
Yep.
And y'all know how does that mean, money printer go burr?
Yep.
You ready?
It's going burr for sure.
No, the money printer is going. Ah! I moved away from the mic because I don't want to blow anyone's eardrums out.
Was not expecting.
Yeah, it's
that.
just.
That's the sound I'm making.
It's just you look at the M1 money stock, and it's just. I'm imagining a man screaming at the top of his lungs.
Yeah.
Whoa, Jack.
So,
freaking out.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know though. People don't have money, right? So some people have mentioned maybe there wasn't enough money in circulation.
Just love
And
segues.
one of the issues
I don't know, though.
is if
People
people
don't have money.
aren't working at all because of the COVID lockdown and they're desperate for any amount of money, then we might actually see deflation. The wealth will concentrate into the hands of the ultra rich, the politicians, the elites, and they'll hoard it. Then by holding onto it and strangling out the working people, a normal person who's like, I need $15 an hour, might finally just break and say, give me 10. I don't care. I have nothing. And then you can get the same amount of labor from that person for cheaper because there's no money for them.
Not if the Democrats get their way. You won't be allowed to hire anybody for less.
It's like
Which
it's
is
someone flirting with so many. Yeah,
Which
yeah,
is
I know.
Are they bad because they're going to make minimum wage too high, or are they bad because they're going to not make like?
It'll just get to a breaking point, you see, and then they'll demand lower wages. They'll beg them, please pay me less. I need this job. But like they flirt with the idea of like the labor theory of value, the coercion under capitalism, the exploitation of workers and labor itself, right? And they always reach the wrong conclusions. Every time I hear this, and like, or they'll be like, "Oh yes," and this all benefits, a very small percentage of people, the elites and the cabal, and then you're like, "Oh God, why?" Or Bill Gates or George Soros. It's just like it's those two. There's a lot of evil billionaires. There's so many to choose from. There's hundreds in the U.S. alone. You don't always have to pick the two that like the favorites.
Well, do they ever ask themselves, as supporters of the status quo, like, why it is that evil people with money manage to be in control of everything all of the time? Like, if you were the one that makes the case that like people with money should be allowed to do whatever they want with it, and that we should have this system that allows people to control things privately, if you believe that, and you simultaneously believe that the world is ruined because rich evil people keep fucking everything up, like, how do you hold those two things?
Yeah. What keeps causing it?
Less than $15 an hour all across the country.
No. But think about it. What they're doing is money printing, and that at the same time is tricking people into thinking they're getting more when they're not.
Correct.
Yeah. So with the mass printing of money, the people then saying, "Oh, I'll get $15 an hour," they're gonna have the same buying power. Their lives will not improve.
Motherfucker, you just said there would be deflation. They would get more buying power, you fucking idiot. Like, you just said that.
But what I see happening here, but you don't understand. Thought Slimes, they're gonna reject the $15 and then they'll say the $10 right afterward. That's what deflation means, right? It's whatever you want it to be at any given time.
He's making me dizzy, dude. Like just from sentence to sentence, it is just like no thoughts are connected. It's like total free association. It's wild.
Yeah. 47,000 people right now watching this.
Get a job if they're valued at $10 or $12 an hour in terms of their utility.
Well, this is the thing. The job question is really, really big because when we have the lower skilled jobs being taken by immigrants, when we have the higher paid jobs being taken because of these visas that are going to be reintroduced, what jobs are left? None of them. And you would think, failing
these
wages
visas that are going to be so those are immigrants as well. Is it just immigrants are taking all the jobs? They come here, the high paid, high skilled laborers, and their visas, and then the lower ones are taken by immigrants. Like,
but
Jesus.
If that's true, and it's not, but if it were true.
And it's not.
and I have to be clear that it is not. Why do you think people are like immigrants just better workers, or are they cheaper to hire? And if so, maybe some kind of law where you had to pay undocumented immigrants the same amount as legal citizens might fix that problem, dude. Like, maybe it's your own policies that lead to this shit.
Or deflation.
Yeah, or the deflation.
Huge care cost and the collapsing economy would be something worth noting and talking about. But sadly, this is something that hasn't been mentioned and talked about. I mean, we're talking about it, but not many people are, which is even more scary.
You know what's really crazy about
This
this too? Take a
motherfucker's
look-
been
we'll pull back
president
up
for
the M1
2
money
days.
stock. The real
And they're
expansion
already
of the
like,
money stock-
he's blowing up the economy.
Well, they made this one on the day of the inauguration, so technically he had been president for
a couple
while
hours.
This was being recorded.
Yeah. Weird how the economy went from booming to terrible in that time, yeah.
But the stocks went way up, but also, at the same time.
Have you ever seen that?
I wish someone could explain to him. Well, what this means? It means like the stock market is just representative of rich people's investor confidence. That's it. So when they see something they like or they feel safe with, they're like, okay, cool. Which is why when the Federal Reserve injects the stock market with trillions of dollars, the stock markets continue to go up despite the fact that we're in the middle of a recession because they're like investor confidence. It's just for the rich people. That's the only ones who get to play with the majority of stocks. That's it.
Also, have you ever seen the political cartoon? It's like Obama sitting at his desk and he's reading a bunch of documents, and it says what the president does, and then the next panel is him with these 2 big switches, and it says what people think the president does, and the switches say stock market and gas prices, and he's just going like
That is how it works, isn't it? I mean, it seems like it. 90% of the New York Stock Exchange is owned by 10,000 people. Wow.
Yikes.
supply. It started after the financial crisis.
Yeah.
So when you look at this major sharp uptick, look at the angle from 2008 until 2020 before the major spike, and it was still rapidly increasing.
Right.
So
Oh my God.
I don't know exactly what we can expect. Some
It's
people have
weird
said
that it
M1
didn't
money supply doesn't
reverse course from 2016 to 2020, don't you think? It's weird.
And also, like, Donald Trump was notorious for taking credit for the stock market. Like that was one of the things that Trump did, incorrectly. There's a reason other presidents usually don't do that because it's ridiculous. Like to one day be like, well, yes, glory be to me for making the stonks go up, and then the next day it's like, well, it's one of you, someone else has disturbed the great stonks.
track perfectly with economy functions or anything like that. But I think you print all this money, then you get Joe Biden coming out saying everyone gets a raise to $15 an hour, and then there's enough money in circulation to balance out that wage increase while not giving anyone an increase in buying power.
Yeah, the argument is that you would increase the GDP to debt ratio, which is what happened after World War II. They printed a ton of money at World War II, and then instead of paying back the debt, they just grew the GDP, the gross domestic product, so rapidly that the debt became negligible. And
I mean, if you look at that period, like right after World War II, America's economy was in the fucking toilet. Let me tell you, that was the worst time for the American economy. Was right after World War II.
Yep, most definitely. Not before.
No, it was after. I'm pretty sure. It's been a while since history class, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
paying it back.
But that's a healthy use of debt. If you can borrow money to grow your business, your enterprise, or whatever in such a way that it dwarfs the size of the debt, that's actually a healthy way of
And I've
doing
seen economists make the argument that that's what's going to happen now, but it doesn't seem like our GDP is going to be able to expand that quickly, and that we don't have the industry that we had in 1945.
How? With all the lockdowns and all the factories in China, how?
And
asset price inflation.
But that's why there are concerns about deflation. If people don't work, they don't have money, period, and they'll do anything, and they'll get desperate, and it can be like, whereas a normal person might be a middle manager at a paper company or a cracker factory, and they make $65,000 a year.
Poverty and
you
crime
take away that job,
correlation.
their savings is drying up, and then you come to them and say, "I'll give you $1 to shine my shoe." They'll be like, "Thank you, sir."
Now
That's
exploitation.
how you knock people down.
Everything is becoming
None
more
of that
and
was
more digital, so the
deflation.
likelihood
That's
of
not
that
what deflate.
happening
Yeah.
is less, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
not one
But
of those.
also, on the other hand, we are going through a national coin shortage.
Yeah, weird
So
stuff.
and then there is a huge kind of larger kind of psychological push to make regular fiat notes something dirty, something that transmits diseases, something that we should stay away from. This push has been kind of happening for a while. It's kind of been put in overdrive with COVID. So there's a big push to promote a cashless society, which is another big agenda which could manipulate and control people very effectively.
I just
And that's what
love
I've been
how
saying
he's
about
doing all
Bitcoin
this
for a
talking in
long
front of a
time.
neo-Nazi
I,
cartoon.
that's why I'm surprised I didn't buy Bitcoin sooner. Because even when Bitcoin was at like $50,
They're complaining
I was
about a
telling
cashless
people that it was the
society,
perfect
and I thought to myself, wouldn't it
Now
be
it's
so
now
funny?
cryptocurrency.
Wouldn't it be so funny if in the middle of this rant about a cashless society, they started talking about Bitcoin, the purely digital currency
Cryptocurrencies.
that cannot be
Yeah,
converted
because it has
into
the
a
word in
physical
it.
object?
They,
Yeah.
they both have the word coin, you know, so they're correlated. It's in the name.
It's like you don't even have to take two videos and juxtapose them. They will highlight their
I know.
own inconsistencies in media res. Like,
You were right about like just free association of words, eh? It just like,
Yeah.
oh, the word coin has been said out loud, so now I can associate that with another word that has the word coin in it. So we've done a thing. This is conversation, right? This is how human beings talk to each other.
can I just go off on Bitcoin for a second? Can I just
Yeah.
mention Bitcoin is one of the most disastrous things to ever happen to the human race. Because like, fucking the amount of energy that goes into producing Bitcoins, not to mention the fact that like they're pretty much designed to blow the shit out of graphics cards and processors and shit that just gets thrown into landfills at a time when like this is at such a premium, like all these rare earth minerals that like slaves in the third world are digging up in horrible mines, and we're facing this climate crisis. And what we decide to do with these precious resources is make invisible money that you can buy child pornography with on the internet. Like that's what Tim Pool is talking about that he wished he had invested in. Like,
Yeah. I think the majority of it is done in China too. Their arch nemesis.
It's
the majority of mining.
energy piracy, right? They just they have like little shacks like near grids where they just like siphon electricity off of, because like Bitcoins cost more money to produce than you get for them. So to make money on Bitcoin, you have to steal the electricity.
I think in theory the idea behind the technology is cool. Like when someone finally properly explained blockchain to me, I was like, oh, that is neat. And like I wouldn't have thought that would be a way about going about how to transfer files or information, but it is secure in an insecure world. And then like, yeah, and in order to do that, you have to solve complex mathematical problems only GPUs can solve, and it's such a process intensive thing that yes, they run the GPUs into the ground trying to solve these things to be able to make it work. So you know, but crypto
currency for national elites who want to be able to track every exchange of currency around the world. It's a better technology, it's trackable, and you can secretly seize control very, very easily. It's called the 51% attack. And of course, the United States has enough money to do it. I should have bought right then, because that's like kind of obvious. There was so much in the conspiracy world about a one world currency. I remember back in like the 2000s, people were talking about the Amero. Do you remember that, Luke?
Yes,
the
yes, the
Amero-
North
The
American.
Amero.
I actually talked to the Mexican president about that, and
Really?
he was Vicente Fox, and he was
Yeah.
openly pushing for that.
Wow.
Now he's, and I interviewed him after he was president. Now he's pushing for drug legalization. Very interesting guy, but Vicente
cool.
Fox was like,
What's
yes, we need a
happening?
North American Union. We need one currency
I have
between
no
Canada, Mexico, and the
idea.
United States. Of course, a lot of the Democrats promoted
again,
this.
The name of this video is Leftist Magazine releases cover of Jesus Joe Biden. That was the title of the video. Like I have like, this happens every time. We shouldn't be that surprised.
I mean,
every time we're like, we start something off, and
I'm not surprised that gone off on a wild tangent, but I'm a little surprised that the wild tangent is that some bizarre conspiracy that the United States is going to buy 51% of Bitcoin so that they can institute a one world government. Like,
it's called the 51% attack.
it's called it, yeah.
Yeah, it's common knowledge. Yeah.
Larger idea, because they also promoted the Trans-Pacific Partnership. They also promoted NAFTA, all of these larger deals, which of course help out multinational corporations and screw over the blue collar worker. So imagine if Mexico was tied in with the United States and Canada economically, what kind of larger exploitation would actually happen by the big
what does that
multinational
mean?
powers?
They
They
are.
like being able to hire people in jurisdictions that don't have human rights laws.
I have no idea.
I remember when I first visited Canada and I was talking to a friend of mine. I think it's like 16 years ago or so. Wasn't it like for every one US dollar you got 7 Canadian? Like the exchange rate was pretty wild. And so I was talking to a friend of mine who said,
Yeah,
that
that's
they
what it
loved
is.
Because Americans would jump the border and then go party and just spend money like crazy, and it was great. They could
It's
pay their
seven
rent
times.
very
That is-
easily. It was harder to buy.
That's not how that
international
works.
Products, but their base
That's
goods,
not how that
their
works.
food, their shelter was very easily covered by Americans who would come and spend. Then when everything started to normalize, that stopped happening. And it became harder for a lot of people in the service industry to make good money because they didn't have the wealthy Americans coming and spending all that cash. And this was part of a conversation about economic normalization I was having with a friend. So when it comes to, and we've seen things like this in Europe, when it comes to trying to make everybody on the same standard, it's very, very difficult to do if it's done with a finger snap government proposal and they do it overnight. But that's why Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is so interesting. With this constant escalation of the currency that's driving up and up and up, it's getting everyone to be like, I want to do it. It's building confidence in it as a store of value. So people are buying in, they're buying other crypto, and it is creating a one world cashless society. We're on that path through cryptocurrency.
There it is.
Is that a good thing?
It could be used either way.
There it is.
We've seen a lot of foreign governments
Jacobin
get into
cover
the Bitcoin
to
game,
one
whether
world
it's China or
crypto
even more
order.
recently Pakistan, deciding that they're going to be officially mining with Pakistani government money. So it could go in a way where it's used as the kind of one world currency that's a cashless grid, total control, lack of privacy coin initiative, or it could be used on the other hand to promote privacy with privacy coins like Monero that are out there, Zcash, that do try to hide transactions so people could still keep their privacy, which I think is important. It's a double-edged sword. It's just like the internet, and it all depends on the user base. What do you do with it? What do you incentivize? If you incentivize, corporatist, globalist coins that work with the big banks, well, obviously those will prosper.
Corporatist,
If you
globalist
incentivize
coins,
privacy
one world
coins
order.
that prioritize
What are you gonna do
Deep state.
with your money that you can't put in the bank? What are you gonna do with it? Like,
There's, by the way, I don't know if you've been picking up on them, but there's been so much like one world order, deep state, all this stuff, like just international bankers. Thank you. Yeah, that's
You can really hear the triple parentheses when he says it. Yeah.
Yep.
your liberty, well, of course, those will prosper. So right now we're in the deciding phase of this larger cryptocurrency revolution that's unfolding right now that is still yet to be determined if it's going to be really good or really bad for personal freedoms.
Look at social media networks. It was really good for a while and then started to get really, really bad. And then the government realized, or I should say political establishment realized, oh no, we've lost control by giving the plebs the ability to communicate with each other. Quick, take it back.
Yep.
Yeah, but we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that little opening. There was a little opening, right?
Wait, they're mad at the government for that? I thought they were mad at big tech. I thought it was that big tech was the one censoring us, not the government. The government hasn't done anything in terms of like censoring the big tech. That's the whole thing, because they're private companies, and that would be you know, a socialism.
That's
or
a good
communism.
point. That's a good point. And I think what's even better about that is this guy, just with no self-awareness, just said, yeah, but if it hadn't been like that, we wouldn't have jobs. Like, the only reason we have jobs, no one's silencing you. 47,000 people are watching your stream right now. Like, you're not being silenced.
Huge mistake.
And that opening has allowed me to have a job, independent media organization, allowed you to have a job, allowed other people to have a voice. I don't know, Jack, about your personal kind of history, but there was a moment where everything was like the Wild West. It was amazing. It was beautiful. Anything you saw was organic. It was real. It was genuine. It wasn't corporate. It wasn't fake. It wasn't talking points. It wasn't regurgitation of Disney bullcrap.
The child porn internet.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast.
So when was social media free of corporations? Because I must have missed that point.
It was beautiful. It was unadulterated. It was like he's speaking about it like they used to speak, like colonizers spoke about the New World. He was like, it was clean, untouched, and pure.
Yeah, the prelapsarian internet.
I mean, maybe he was talking about 1.0 before 2.0. Like I know there's been different grand iterations of the internet. 2.0 being the big one where we started blogging and having that kind of stuff.
I remember Web 1.0. It was not like free of corporate influence. Like that is just.
Oh God, no. No, did you have a single website until GeoCities came along? I think that was the first time I ever managed to.
I did because
get my hands there.
My school taught us how to make websites, so we had some hosted on there.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that's dope. It's still hosted?
No, sadly, I wish.
Oh, okay.
You could have seen
is that
the cool Pokemon website I made in the 8th grade.
Is that what you made it about? That was my next question. Well. Yeah,
is where I could host all
guys
of
are
my
so old. Yeah,
screenshots
old.
and GIFs and cheat codes for Pokemon Yellow.
People in chat are roasting us for being old right now, and I was like, yeah, I'm old. I was around before in the before times. Me and Matt come from a different age where the internet didn't even exist, and you had to call people on phones that were attached to the wall. You see,
my lifetime spans
at all times
2 separate millenniums, so that's how old I am. 2 separate millenniums.
You must. It was now. It's like it wasn't that long ago. It was long ago. Matt, I unfortunately can't do another one because I've got to go see my grandma. I gotta do the outdoor drop off the food, but not make the human contact because we must keep ourselves separated between the glass wall thingy.
Well, Lance, where can people find more of your things now that your YouTube has been deleted?
Money. What's the latest Pokemon generation you've played while we're on the topic?
YouTube. God damn it. YouTube.com/the Serfs TV is our main channel where the latest video I just put up has been permanently taken down, so you can't see it there. But youtube.com/the Serf Times is where you can find the daily uploads. And if you want to see me stream live, you can find me at twitch.tv/the Serfs TV. And same to you, Matt. Where can people find things you've done?
You can find me at youtube.com/ThoughtSlime or youtube.com/Scaredy Cats TV.
When's your gaming channel coming out?
It's been out for a while. I just haven't been uploading to it.
Oh, okay. When's that starting up?
It started up like last year, but it's complicated.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I will not ask follow-ups.
Yeah.
But by the way, this was an extreme ton of fun.
Yeah, my face hurts from laughing.
Let's do it
again
soon. Yeah. I guess we should be thanking Tim as well.
Yes. Thank you as always.
I assume you're going to keep streaming. Can I send everyone?
Yeah. Send them on over.
Everyone, you're about to go hang out with Thought Slime. It's spelt with the THOT because that's a joke he hasn't heard before.
Oh,
so that's
so fucking funny, dude.
That's a play on words. Bet you didn't see that.
Got that I fucked up my normal scene in OBS. So I'm just gonna
rearrange me.
There we go.
Hey, oh, the raid is complete.
Excellent, Lance. Be
awesome.
Well.
Take care of them all.
I'll do my best.
All right, bye everybody. Love y'all.
Go with God.
I will.
All right. Boy, that Tim Pool, what a character. What a character. Always doing his thing. Someone asked me what the last generation of Pokemon that I played was. Maybe the 3rd generation, I think. I didn't play much of it either. I gotta tell you. I don't really like Pokemon games, I've discovered. I loved the first one as a kid. It's the only one I've really ever played. By the first one, I mean the first generation. But nowadays I find them so boring. It's just like hit A over and over until the other Pokemon die. I did play a lot of Pokemon Snap. I 100% at Pokemon Snap. Which, if anyone's ever played it, that's a joke because you could do that in like an hour. Let's put on some music. Okay, so what kind of music do people want to hear from Pretzel? want to hear, usually I go chip tune, because it tends to have music that like suits speaking over very well. But we've got lo-fi, classical, chill. What do people think? Gangster rap? Not my scene. Seems like the winner is all of the words that I said. Fuck it. Whatever. I'm just gonna put on chill. And no one can be upset about that. Let's turn that down a little. A little too chill. Let's see what questions I missed while I was speaking with Lance from the Serfs. From the Serfs Times. Beep. Sorry, this takes a minute to navigate to. I should just put that in my... Hi, I'm Kira. Will the internet look like under anarchy? Basically like it does now, except more people will be involved in decision-making processes. And there will be fewer, like, concentrations of power. Like, there won't be, like, one guy who can control whatever's on Twitter. I can't believe 47,000 people are watching Incel. The mind boggles. Matt and Lance, two of my favorite content creators. Thank you for all you guys do. I'm sure I've watched all your non-live stream content. Lance, glad you got the channel back. Here's Damani. Thank you, Michael. Thank you for being awesome slime. Thank you, Dick Punk. I hope it's pronounced Dick Punk. If it's not, it is now. Thanks for being amazing. If anyone can spare a moment, what was the video our Must Awful Slime did on why LGBT plus issues are also important class issues? I don't think I've ever done a video that's about that. I've talked about it a lot, but I think like the Steven Crowder video touches on it a little. What if you got to heaven but Jesus was wearing a beanie? Tight. Sick. I'm in heaven. That rules. Wish I had the confidence of a chud saying nonsense. Develop it, Black Corvo. I believe in you. Have you guys ever heard of Graham Elwood? And if so, what do you think of his views? I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. If all the members of the Beatles circa 1970 were locked in a battle royale style fight to the death, who would win? Ringo. He's got the most upper body strength. He's the drummer. Like, I think that's indisputable. Heard the governor of Alberta wants to sanction the U.S. because of Keystone, CACW. Yeah, it's crazy. He is just so mad. It's very funny. Vicky P. First? Yup. Great job thinking about slimes and stuff. That's what I do around here. Seriously, Matt, we can't hear him at all. I got around to it. You're the most consistently funny left tuber I watch. Thank you. But you that could be because you only watch really boring ones. Who knows? I may be an evil off sock, but I respect your work. Thank you. I always love it when self-identified evil people like my work. I need to be careful watching all these lefties or I might become a communist. Look within. Free the communist within. Premier is like a Canadian representative. It's the equivalent to a governor in Canada. It's the head of the provincial government, a province being Canada's equivalent to a U.S. state. And I explain it in terms of U.S. Government because people from the United States are the only people who need that explained to them. I thought MPs were the representatives. MPs are members of parliament. That slime is funny. People are welcome to their opinion. Take the compliment, Matt. You must be new here. Rob Ford was a proto-Trump? Absolutely. Is an off-sock someone who likes to be barefoot? Off. A-U-T-H. Authoritarian socialist is what the person meant.
I got the money.
I never remember the term. Who's the representative of the Queen again? The Governor General. He carries around a big mace. I'm sorry, I used to think Sargon was all right. Don't be sorry to me. I feel sorry for you. In my head, I thought that would just be funny. I didn't realize how mean what I was saying was. I bought Now and After because of you. What's Now and After? I don't know what that is, if I'm being honest. And you bought it because of me.
I got the money.
You got your prime ministers and your sub-prime ministers. No, you got your dom prime ministers and your sub-prime ministers. Do I like tofu at all? Hell yeah, I love tofu. That shit rules. And look, let me tell you how you people say they don't like tofu. Those people are fucked up. They're not doing their tofu right. Let me explain to you about tofu. Let me fix your tofu garbage. First of all, you take your tofu, you freeze it in the gross water it comes in. Then you freeze it overnight, by the way. Then you let it de-thaw. Then you squeeze as much moisture out of it as you can using paper towels or a clean dish towel. You fry it up in little strips, and you got crispy, spongy, meat-like tofu. It's gonna blow your mind. Have that with a little bit of olive oil. Fry it, pan fry. Put on some panko crumbs, some nutritional yeast. You know, whatever spices you got around. You can put whatever. You could. There's so many. It's like chicken. You can season it however you want. That's how you cook tofu. Try it. Happy Thursday to my favorite slime. Thank you. I did think you said happy birthday, and I was like, oh no, I hope this person doesn't think it's my birthday.
Reminder to all my American friends to fax your reps black paper.
Yeah, waste their ink. Waste their goddamn ink. Did I get a new camera? No, I don't know why people keep saying I got a new camera. I guess it just looks better today. Maybe my internet's better today. Because I could see Lance on stream, which doesn't usually happen. Now and After, the ABCs of Communist Anarchism by Andrew Berkman. I've never heard it referred to as Now and After before. I've only ever seen the ABCs of Anarchism and the ABCs of Communist Anarchism as the two titles. I didn't know it had another title, to be honest. That's a good book, though.
I got the money.
You said, did you say you were reading it or you bought it? Because you can get that book. By the way, anytime I recommend a book like that, you can get them for free. The Libcom has them for free. The Anarchist Library has them for free. You can get free audiobooks of them at Audible Anarchist. Like, you don't need to buy them off of Amazon or whatever. Are you ever going to critique MLism in a video? I mean, I feel like I critique them a lot. Am I going to make a video specifically about MLs? Probably not. Do you lack the critiques? Like, what? I don't know. What would be the utility of that? I'm less yellow today. I don't feel any less yellow. Any plans to do another makeup tutorial? When I have time. It's like I don't know what's wrong with me. Because I always feel like I don't work very much, but I'm also always busy and never have time to do the things I want to do. So I don't know what kind of fucking time management problems I have, but that's the truth. Your channel has got me reading more about the big A word. Thanks. Started reading the Bread book. That's one of the 3 books. Say them with me. The ABCs of Communist Anarchism, Conquest of Bread, and Anarchy Works by Peter Gelderloos. Less jaundiced? I feel definitely less jaundiced.
I got the money.
My liver's doing great. Are you going to upload more to Means TV? I probably should. I did sign a contract saying I would, and then I didn't. Oops. Don't tell him. I like Graeber's stuff. His books are fun, not necessarily the most detailed outside of Debt, though. The only books I've read by David Graeber are Debt, The First 5,000 Years, and Bullshit Jobs. What other books should I read by him? Yeah, Chad, I've been trying to monopolize Thought Slime free time to watch cartoons. I've been flakier with Zotz than I am with anyone else. This motherfucker, he's so sweet. He keeps asking me to do stuff, and I keep being like, yeah, totally, I can, and just like fucking not. I feel terrible.
I got the money.
Drop by Biob sometime and do comic vids, please. What? I assume by Biob you mean the Something Awful forums Biob? And do comics vids, please? I don't know what you mean by do comics vids. You mean like video, just make more videos about comics? I did one about Immortal Hulk, made one about Superman, made one about Batman. Eventually I'm gonna make one about Junji Ito. Because everybody wants me to. I don't really have the take on him. So hopefully once I read a bunch more of Junji Ito, I have something to say. Hope sleep study went well. You missed my birthday for it. I had one last month for an elective surgery clearance. Hope you're doing all right. So the sleep study, they basically said, they're like, yeah, get a CPAP or don't, who cares? This is, I talked to the doctor today. She called me. She was like, yeah, looking over your results. So what do you want to do? You want to get a CPAP? I'm like, I don't know. Should I? And they're like, I mean, you didn't really sleep, so we don't know. It's why I did it. Like, I've been a Linux gal / coder for a while now. I like that you've been a gal / coder. Those two things are not in conflict. What do you think of open source software? I think it should be standard. I think it should be standard. That being said, I can't use Linux. I find it so irritating. I went to computer school. I tried to use Linux, and this is not an invitation for you to tell me what distro I should have been using, because I don't care. I'm never going to use it. But I just found nothing ever worked. Nothing ever worked. It was really frustrating to use. A video specifically about Marxist-Leninism would just be easier to link rather than digging for it in his various videos. See also LGBT plus issues in class. Yeah, but like, I don't know. I don't really feel like I have... First of all, I don't think I'd be the right one to do it. I feel like there's plenty of videos like that made by other people. Like, you can find great videos made... Like, Anarch does great videos about how his series on the state is counter-revolutionary. It's better than I'm going to do. If you want that content, that's where I would suggest getting it. Brain works better with CPAP. I never sleep, so brain never works. I'm like tired all the time. Like all the time. As a leftist, it seems hard to condemn Lenin and the Bolsheviks after reading the history of the revolution in the USSR. Depends on which history books you're reading, doesn't it? Opinions on the meat tank? Children love the meat tank. What's my favorite VR game so far? This is gonna be a weird answer. Thumper. It's like a rhythm game where you're like a robot bug in a psychedelic nightmare world. It's a lot of fun. It's really good. It'd probably be good outside of VR, to be honest. Found you randomly, and you're awesome, and your eyeball zone has been informative and helpful. Have the money and get some Burger King. I don't know what the eyeball zone is. Oh, okay. People know of Thumper. Thumper, that's such a great game in VR. It is like you just lose yourself in that game. It is buck wild. Matt, do you know about Nestor Makhno and how cool do you think he is? On a scale of 1 to 10, I would rank him an 8 out of coolness. I think Nestor Makhno kicks ass, and I regret the arguments this is going to cause in chat as people try to speciously claim that he was some sort of anti-Semitic pogromist, because he was not. Still playing Animal Crossing? Nah, man. The minute I didn't play one day of Animal Crossing, I was like, oh, I'm never going back to this. And fucking Rodeo's still there. I can't face him. Trevor, thank you for the 10 buckaroonies. That's what I call US dollars, is buckaroonies. I invented it. Fun fact, Thumper on a phone with shitty Bluetooth headphones sucks. Sounds like that. Would not be the ideal method of playing. I've never tried it. I've only ever played it in VR, and it was on sale for like $2 on Steam, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, fuck it, I'll buy this. It really isn't my type of thing, and I just got so into it. It's hard though. It is hard for me anyway. I'm maybe not a good measurement. Matt, how do you know we're in hell? That could mean two things. Do you mean, how do I know the YouTuber we're in hell? Or how is it that I am aware we are in hell? To answer the first question, Sam and I both live in Toronto, and so we met at like Toronto leftist meetups and stuff, and we just talked about YouTube. And to answer the second question, I'd say it's only a bit of the capitalism, isn't it? Capitalism is why we're in hell. I had a seizure and way too many mushrooms when I was younger. I haven't taken them since, even though I used to really enjoy them. Any advice or thoughts on your current usage? Well, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know why you had a seizure, and maybe that's before you try anything like that. You should consult a doctor, because I don't know, maybe you already know why, but I don't really know if I could give you advice in that situation. I feel like it would be very irresponsible for me to say anything, really. Yeah.
I got the money.
My cat won't stop farting. I think he ate a bug. He definitely ate a bug. Congratulations. My cats would simply watch bugs.
Hey, this is my first ever donut. Just want to say I love your content, and I was wondering, you have any advice for getting over a fear of confrontation?
Well, I can only say what works for me, and that is being a public figure of some sort. I am constantly in a confrontation with people, whether I know it or not. People just get weirdly aggressive with me all of the time, and it's just kind of inoculated me against a fear of a confrontation. I will say that it just comes down to like learning to trust yourself and learning to trust your opinions, because if you don't think of it as a confrontation, if you look at it as just standing your ground, it's easier, right? Than thinking like, oh, I'm part of an argument. No, you're standing up for what you believe. There's a psychological difference there. It's possible to rent an APAP, better than CPAP, and see if it works for you. First time I tried it, I realized I hadn't slept in years. I've never heard of an APAP. I'll look into this. I will research this. Have I ever read the comic Love and Rockets? I don't know, just a question. Hail Saitan. I have not heard of it or read it. Is the answer to that question. We had a centipede in our apartment. Instead of eating it, she just batted at it a little. Yo. If you don't live in a place that has house centipedes, you don't know true fear. Holy shit, those things are fucking terrifying. Why is my piss red? Is it angry? Probably too much Mountain Dew Code Red. I appreciate the gamer fuel you're trying to drink. Regarding David Graeber, read How to Change the Course of Human History. It's an essay, but a book written in collaboration with David Wengrow on the same topic is coming out soon. Okay. All right. If all the members of the Beatles circa 1970 were locked in a battle royale style fight to the death, who would win? Kyle, none. You fool. I already answered this question and you've paid me to answer it again. It's Ringo. Ringo has the upper body strength because he's a drummer. There's no doubt in my mind. And also, Ringo wrote the No No song, so we know he did a lot of cocaine. So that would be an advantage he would have in the fight.
I got the money.
I heard communes fell back on some pretty misogynistic bullshit under anarchy. How do we keep patriarchal systems from developing? I would say the same way that we fight any vector of oppression, which is directly empowering the people who it affects. Women should have just as much of a voice in decision-making processes as men, and femme people as opposed to mask people, or, you know, there's obviously like a variety there. But that's the only way that I know of is to make sure through like the systems that you have in place to run things that they should represent all of the people and they should be run by all of the people together. And it's also like it's a worse problem, I think, for things like racialized people, because at least with women that's 50% of the population, 51 I think. So it's unlikely that you know they would vote to like oppress women. But like racialized minorities, that could be a problem, because if you're in a commune and like most of the people are racializing you and you're oppressed that way, it's, you know, how do you actually, that to me is the bigger question. And how to fix that, I don't really know. And boy, I hope we figure it out. Your thoughts on solar punk and eco-anarchism? I mean, would love to live under those, wouldn't you? Wouldn't that be tight and sick? Wouldn't you love it? What's my reaction to Biden deleting women? Finally. Yeah, so as I understand it, this is a controversy because by enshrining the fact that like queer people aren't allowed to be fired from their jobs, Biden somehow like destroyed women's sports by allowing trans women to play in sports games or something. Some turf bullshit. Fuck all of these people. Fuck all turfs. Can I get a trans rights in chat? Sending the love and rockets recommend. Just start anywhere. It's been going for a long while. All right, what's it about? We don't get centipedes, but one time the city thought it'd be a good idea to spray the sewers and all the super roaches invaded the neighborhood. They sprayed the sewers? That's where I live. Did I get my t-shirt from T-Fury? Yeah, probably. I don't know. It's like every few months, I'm like, I need new horror t-shirts for Scaredy Cats. And then I just end up wearing them as my regular shirts. Someone said that's how the slime is made, and I read it like, and that's the way the news goes. Why do so many TERFs seem to come from the UK? As a Canadian, I'm in no position to judge, because all of the Nazis come from Canada. I was watching the latest season of Taskmaster, and there was a contestant on that season who identifies as non-binary, and that was pretty tight and sick. Would you resell your used t-shirts? No one wants to buy my Naggity t-shirts. Nobody wants that. And anyone that does, that I assume is doing it for perfidious reasons. My hair looks great, thank you. I cut my own hair, and I did long before the quarantine, so in that sense, I had a bit of an advantage. It's my favorite Ancom band? I don't know if I listen to a lot of bands that are anarcho-communist. I'll tell you, I do listen to. There's a rapper I like called Soul, S-O-L-E, who does explicitly anarchist rap. I feel like I just said rap like a like a grandmother. Rap. Oh, I heard you like the rap music. Ever pissed myself on purpose? You think you're gonna trick me into saying that I pissed my pants in front of a green screen? Nice try, pal. What do I think about Chris Evans as Buzz Lightyear? What does that mean? What do you mean by that? I can make no sense of this question. Chris Evans is playing Buzz Lightyear in the new movie? Why? And I don't know how to say this in a nice way. Could they not afford Tim Allen? Could they not get him? Also, they're making another Toy Story? Why do they keep making Toy Stories? Have I shart like Ryab? No. Can he see my comments? Can who see your comments? Chris Evans is playing Buzz Lightyear, but the human Buzz Lightyear that Buzz Lightyear is based off in universe? Isn't Buzz Lightyear supposed to be from the future, I thought. He's like a Space Command Ranger or some shit. Either way, I don't give even the slightest shit. Look, the Toy Story movies, the first three are great. I haven't seen Toy Story 4, but like, I don't really feel any particular sense of we must protect Toy Story. They can do what they want, who cares? Tim Allen is MAGA? Yeah, Tim Allen sucks shit and always has. What's the best vegetarian filling breakfast you have? That would be, of course, my favorite breakfast, a nutrient-enriched oat slurry. Can't even smuggle coke. Not only that, he narked on the other people he was smuggling it with. They were like, want to go to jail? And he was like, I don't think so, Tim. You know, Tim Allen's classic catchphrase from Home Improvement. When Tim Allen's character would always say, I don't think so, Tim. Do you play Stardew Valley? Stardew Valley was the first game I ever streamed. Fun fact. Authoritarian primitivism. So like you have one caveman that's in charge who tells all the other cavemen what to do. What's my favorite Elder Scrolls game? I mean, I know it's like the obvious answer, but Morrowind is probably my favorite. But like, I've only played Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim. So, those are the only three I have any frame of reference for. Hi, Thought Slime, just wanted to say hi. Hi! I have not played Disco Elysium. Do I like hummus? Yeah, I'm a human being. I have red blood.
I got the money.
Play Daggerfall? Not likely. Until it comes out in VR. I have no need for your flat games. Do I have left blood? Do you have red... Oh my god. Do you have red blood? Do you really? Nice try. I'm not gonna cut open my body to show you my red blood. Not falling for that one again. Is it okay that I thought Witcher 3 was boring? I forgive you. You should play Disco Elysium when the big fancy patch comes out in March. No one's gonna tell me what to play. Alright? I don't need flat games. I just brought a milk frother thing and now I'm constantly making myself some milk foam. Yo, I also got a milk frother thing like late last year. It's pretty sick. Do I have any formal higher education, and if so, what in? I have... Okay. So I didn't graduate as an undergraduate, but I have like all of my major and minor complete. I just don't have a bunch of electives that I needed to do. And I also have a diploma from a web development coding program. Your hair grew back. Do you feel better? Much better. Like night and day. I'm sorry you had to learn JavaScript? JavaScript was the best thing to learn. I fully enjoyed learning JavaScript. And then I had to learn React. And then I had to learn Ruby on Rails. And those were not as fun. JavaScript is cool outside of fucking with the DOM. For those that don't know, that's a web development thing. It's the DOM is like the it's been a couple of years, but it's what makes the website have squares. I don't know. Fuck, who cares? Put that in your computer school. It makes the website have squares. Document Object Model. What did I major and minor in? I majored in English and minored in history, which is how I became the extremely employable person you see before you. Have I tried C? No. Have I tried Liberty Caps? I don't think so. This is the first time I've ever known, or I should say in the parallel universe where I do drugs, I haven't tried them. And in that universe, the last time I took psychedelic mushrooms, it was the first time I knew what strain they were. Also, not a particularly strong strain, Golden Teachers. You were my intro to leftism, and I love you for saving me from being a liberal cringe lord. Take my money, and I love you. I love you too, Ben Green. I love each and every I love each and every person that gives me their money. Stupid question, but what's your response to people who say debunk ECP? Obviously, they're asking in bad faith, but still, it always gets me. What is ECP? I don't know what ECP means. Is that a... Did you mean debunk SCP? It's all fiction. Oh, Insane Clown Posse with an E, of course. Leftists won't debate me about ICUP. I just want to know what SCP is. Or ESP. ECP? What was it? What was the TLA? 3-letter acronym? ECP. Yeah. ECP. I don't know what that is. Whoa! Thank you, Calvin McGowan. Holy shit. I've been doing web development for 5 years now. Still not sure I know what the fuck I'm doing. They sure do pay me well, though. Yeah, that's one aspect of it that I regret not following through with. But I left my job of many years to go study to code. And then I was like left without a job, and I realized I hated it. I hated coding, I meant. So I started just making more YouTube videos, and then this became my job. And then eventually this will go away, and I don't know what I'm going to do. As an American, I'm just happy right now to send you $25 instead of 25 Reichsmarks. I don't know if they could. I don't know if Trump was going to change it to the Reichsmarks. But thank you. Emergency contraception medicine. Think Plan B. Well, how's someone gonna debunk that? Are you still skateboarding? If so, how's it going? I mean, I would be. It's just too cold right now. It's too cold to skateboard. But when the weather warms up, I will be again. It's going great. It's like I don't talk about it that much because it's just a normal part of my day. Like, it's just how I get around. The economic calculation problem. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. A criticism of using economic planning as a substitute for market-based allocation of the factors of production. So the way I would argue against this is to just look at how many things get completely fucked up in the market as it exists. This idea that if we lived in a perfect market, we would have like perfect transactions. Like, we have enough food to feed 10 billion people, and somehow we can't manage to get it to the 8 billion people that need it, right? Like, we end up with like stores that are full of shoes, and then half of those shoes we just throw out and destroy. You go to the grocery store, there's like 1,000 different kinds of ranch blasted chips, you know, like it. I think it's self-evident that the market does not always make the most rational choices. I think it's one of those things, and this is the problem with every like libertarian argument, is that it just, they take it on faith, and there's no like claim that you can falsify to argue with them. So like they'll say, oh well, in perfect capitalism, the market would put everything in perfect equilibrium. And then we go, well, every time we've ever tried capitalism, that hasn't happened. And they go, yeah, but none of those have been perfect capitalism. Well, then how do you know? Like, what are you basing it on? And the times when we have gotten closer to pure capitalism, it hasn't seemed to help that problem. So, kind of seems to me like the data suggests you're wrong. Have you heard the outrageous allegation against Joe Biden? YouTube is making me edit this question. What allegation are you referring to? I don't know if this is like a genuine person questioning the sexual assault allegations against Joe Biden, but if you did, that sucks. I very much believe Tara Reid. Am I gonna keep playing FNAF on Scaredy Cats? That's Five Nights at Frederick's, for those of you who aren't familiar. Probably not. People didn't like it, so probably not. Hey, Thought Slime, have you thought about running for parliament? How useful do you find electoral politics? Seems better than waiting for a revolution. Disagree. Then waiting for one, surely. Then building one, not so much. So there's two parts to your question. Would I ever run for parliament? Probably not. It seems like a big waste of my time, because who's the fuck is going to vote? Hello, I'm the guy that does silly little YouTube videos. Vote for me in parliament. I'll take care of your problems. Like, no one's going to vote for me. I have no experience that makes me a good candidate. I have no qualities that would make me a good political candidate. But the more general question is, what do I think about people participating in electoral politics? It's better than nothing. But that's all that it's better than. I will always prefer anyone doing any form of direct action, just like going out and actually providing things for people, helping out people in the community instead of like appealing to the state to do it on their behalf, I think is a mistake. I feel like I'm talking really fast today. Nice plants. I don't have time to actively watch your stream, but I appreciate the foliage. The foliage. Thank you. They are my wife's plants. I have nothing to do with them. Hey, slime boy! Take my Mexican monies. Please pet a cat for me when you get the chance. You got it. Might take a while, because I can't leave the house.
I got the money.
I wish you talked more about Canadian politics. Well, why? Why do personal finance YouTubers talk so fast? I think it's like, when you think of a trader in the stock market, like they're always like really energetic and they have to like, you know, be like on the ball and make snap decisions really fast. So they're trying to give that kind of vibe, right? Like they just talk really fast so that you get the impression that like they're always thinking so many thoughts all the time that they're like processing more than you can possibly understand. And the cocaine, you're right, actually. The cocaine has something to do with it. The claim was made on YouTube by Graham Elwood. It entails assault against women. I don't know what claim you're referring to, so I couldn't say what I believe about it. Again, if it's like the sexual assault claims that were already out there about Joe Biden, like, of course I believe them. Of course. Nothing about Joe Biden makes me think that anyone would be lying about that. Like, he can't stop touching women without their consent. He just does it all the time. Yeah, and he was criticized about it, and he's just like, I guess it's a generational thing, you know? Like, not really, dude. Oh, I can't believe I forgot to talk about this. I had a dream last night that I got a text from Caleb Maupin because he found my phone number and therefore claimed to have my IP address. And he's like, I'm gonna come get you. And I was like, oh yeah? You got my IP address, huh? What is it? Tell it to me. But he wouldn't. What happened to Charlie the cat? My two cats, Charlie and Felix, now live with my mother in Newfoundland. My wife is allergic to cats. That sounds like a Caleb Maupin thing to do. I don't think it does, to be honest. As much as I dislike the guy, I don't think he's like a threat kind of guy. He say what you will about the man. He doesn't seem like he throws his weight around a lot. Slime Dog Millionaire, I mailed you my one email, but I forgot to include my pronouns he, him, since it's like the only info you suggest. I worried it might DQ me from consideration. Sorry. I mean, it's a guideline. Caleb Maupin is the hacker known as 4chan. How should we manage our finances as good socialists? Is wanting passive income in order to retire wrong? What about investing in stocks? I mean, passive income can mean a lot of things. Some of it is sure wrong. I think, like, fucking, if you buy a stock and cash it out and it makes a shitload of money, like, I'm not gonna be mad at you. I don't give a shit. But, like, if you're investing in something, probably don't invest in, like, mutual funds that have, like, fucking Raytheon in there, you know, or like, Monsanto or shit like that. Like, you know, and think somewhat consciously about where you're putting your money. But, like, I don't, like, fucking who cares? Like, the idea that, like, the type of critique I have against the stock market wouldn't apply to, like, random people putting their money into like an RRSP. Like that's not the issue. The issue is like multinational corporations with computers that make trades so fast that we literally don't know what they're doing. And they just balloon out our finance until like we're just trading money for money. Like that's the problem. So they're wrong? I don't know what you're talking about. I wouldn't know. I feel like you're trying to trap me into saying something, but I'm legitimately saying I have no idea what you're talking about.
I got the money.
Don't landlord. Landlording is bad passive income. I think I've been pretty clear about my feelings about landlords. Random question, but have you ever read The Sportive Prey of Capitalists by Linda McQuaig? Based book, especially for us Canadians. I have not. That is a clunky title. The Sportive Prey of Capitalists. That title could use some work. Normies can't really get passive income though. I mean, not to the extent that like richos can, for sure. That's amazing. Whittlebug subscribed and typed A like 20 times, and it just goes, oh. Magical Leopyrodon. It's one of my Minecraft mods. You know how it is. What is based? Sorry, such a mom question. It's like, it means good. Like tight and sick. Something that is both tight, but also sick. Abominable nuclear carnage. I am a landlord. Does that make me petite bourgeois? I mean, yeah, probably. Sorry, man. A little bit. Have you or would you do a Super Metroid stream? No, probably not. I love Super Metroid. It's one of my favorite games of all time. But it's one of those games that like everybody has memorized. So if I like fuck around, as I always will, because I'm never going to know where to go in Super Metroid. It's just one of those games that no matter how many times you play, you always get lost. People will get really frustrated with me and get angry at me, so probably not. No, I'm just upset by what I heard earlier. Upset by something I said? Who raid? Suri Skeptic, thank you for the raid. Did you ever beat Hollow Knight off recording? I have not played any more Hollow Knight off recording. I promise you this. I would not do that to you. Have I ever played any of the Hitman games? I played the first of the new Hitman games. So it was called Hitman. I didn't play the original Hitman. I played the first of the new Hitman games, also called Hitman. Hitman, like 2016, I think. And it really bothers me that the new Hitman game is in VR, but only on PlayStation VR. Sorry, The Sport and Prey of Capitalists. How the Rich Are Stealing Canada's Public Wealth is the correct title of the book. That makes more sense. I thought I was losing my mind because I was like, I do not understand this title. Any tips for someone thinking about getting into stand-up? Don't. Haha. Joke. Roll on snare drums. Everybody laughs. No. First of all, understand that when to take criticism seriously, and understand that the hardest crowd to make laugh is a crowd full of comics, which will likely be the first few crowds that you have, because you will be the guy that goes on at 3 o'clock, like as the other comics are done with their sets, because none of them know you, and the whole thing is just a big circle jerk. And just try it and see how it feels. It's not as scary as you think it's going to be. It's really not. If you could Tron yourself into any movie / TV / video game world for one day, which would it be? Without question, Saints Row. Any chance there'll be a Hellraiser vid series, or is it too spicy for YouTube? You think you saw me? You saw what House did to me. You think I'm gonna fucking commit to like 200 Hellraiser movies of diminishing quality? You're streaming Until Dawn? That's dedication, bro. I did stream Until Dawn, the video game, last year. And it was terrible. I hated that game. How about the Cube movies? People, I don't know why everybody wants me to talk about the Cube. Here's the thing about Cube. It's fine. It's an interesting production in that it's all filmed in one room. It's got a couple Star Trek actors in it. And it's fun because they never explain what it is. It's just, there's this crazy cube. What's up with this weird cube? And then the sequels are all like, let's explain the cube. People didn't like that the cube was a mystery. Don't explain the cube. It's just an evil cube. It says you're streaming Just Chatting and Until Dawn. Why would it say Just Chatting and Until Dawn? Get your shit together, Twitch. It just says Just Chatting when I look. Would you play a horror game on stream? I freaking love watching people play horror games. It's the best entertainment. I did. I played Resident Evil 2. Not last Halloween, but the Halloween before that. And also, my last video on Scaredy Cats was me playing Five Nights at Freddy's in VR. So it sounds like you might enjoy that. Predictions on a 2021 federal election in Canada. I feel like every prediction I make, election-wise, ends up being wrong. But I have a sinking feeling. I can't imagine, like, conservatives feel really unpopular right now, but I have no idea. I do not have my finger on the pulse of Canadian politics at the moment. I fear the worst. It says Thought Slime streams Just Chatting and Until Dawn in the description. What? I don't even have a description. I streamed Until Dawn like 2 years ago. Any pro-anarchist films? Yes. 2020's Joker. I hope I don't have to play Until Dawn again. Holy shit, that was a bad game. It is the channel description under About Thought Slime? Really? If that is so, then that's been like that for years and no one's ever pointed it out to me. Which is hilarious. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Hold up. Stop making noise. Oh my god! That was the first game I streamed on Twitch and it still says, that's wild! How do I edit? I would like to edit you. Put it on stream so everybody knows you aren't making shit up? No. You're gonna have to take my word for it. Oh boy, how do I fix this? Edit panels. It's just, no, that doesn't do it, huh? Channel. Creator dashboard. Content. That's unbelievable. I can't believe it's been like that for 2 years and no one's noticed. Even I haven't noticed. Account settings, maybe? Profile picture. Generated background. My name. Bio. The bio's empty here. Cool guy with cool attitude. Let's see if that fixed anything. Any hope for Jagmeet Singh's NDP, or is it just more Trudeau? I know you said you're unsure of predictions, but I'm curious. One prediction I am confident in making is that if it is possible for the NDP to lose an election, they always will. It is the NDP's prerogative. Did that fix it? Prerogative. Yeah, now it says cool guy with cool attitude. I fixed it. I'm no longer playing Until Dawn. Thank God. No wonder my life has been so downhill. I've been playing Until Dawn this whole time. Did I actually miss the Serf Slime reunion? You did. So it wasn't the game category. It was literally the description for my channel was Thought Slime is just chatting and playing Until Dawn. You were talking earlier about how awful cryptocurrency is because of waste and allowing illegal activity. As far as waste goes, video games use far more electricity and fill landfills with more GPUs. And allowing illegal activity, it's a system outside of government control. The freedom it allows for also comes with the potential for bad actors to act badly. Surprise your response to it, claiming crypto is bad, but doesn't seem consistent with your political philosophy. Well, here's why it's completely different. And I think you know if you like think about it without emotion. I think it sounds like you're being a little defensive. Maybe you like cryptocurrency. The thing is, you can't make video games in a way that makes them not consume electricity. You can't make video games in a way where they don't require a GPU. And by the way, you're wrong. They are not as wasteful on GPUs because they don't burn out GPUs like Bitcoin does. But regardless, Bitcoin is money. And we can make money without that. We can make money without just needlessly pumping a ton of electricity. Now, as far as the illegal shit, what I specifically said wasn't simply that it's for illegal stuff. I specifically said it's used for buying child pornography on the internet, which it is. It is used to facilitate the purchase of child pornography on the internet. It's one of the major uses of Bitcoin. I think that's not really something you can like turn the other way on. Like it's a huge problem.
I got the money.
2020 with all its shenanigans has pushed me much further left, and you've helped me make sense of my anger as everything going on. Just wanted to say thanks for helping me become an anarchist. You're welcome. Was trying to catch you in a gotcha question. I wasn't trying to catch you in a gotcha question, and it was another progressive channel where I heard the accusation against Biden. I mean, I'm sorry I don't have any more information for you. I'm sorry. Angie Purr, thank you for the 10 buccarinos. I meant to attach some kind of message to that money, but oh well, good cause at least. Send the message without the money. I will read it. Let no one go without their messages.
I got the money.
Do I watch any anime, Mr. Slime? Yeah, sure. Sometimes I'll watch a little bit of anime. I'm only human. I haven't watched one in a while. Actually, I was watching One Piece for a while. I'll get back to it at some point. You should read Crypto Communism by Mark Alizart. It'd be interesting to hear your take on it. I think you can tell I'm not a big fan of cryptocurrency. Keeping an eye to see if Angie Pugh sends another message. I'm watching. I got my eye on chat. You made me realize I'm an anarchist and non-binary. You're a fantastic and beautiful person. Keep doing what you do. Love you lots in a parasocial relationship kind of way. Wink, kiss, kiss. Thank you, Martin Gold. Truly you are made of gold. The hair looks cute. My wife says I look like a pineapple. And now you can't unsee it. Are you a fan of Crypto the dog? Of course I am. He's a good boy. He's the last dog of Krypton. Do I like Discworld? I haven't really read a lot of Discworld. I read like about half of The Color of Magic, to be honest. You have a wife? Yeah, it's. You didn't notice I've been wearing a wedding ring for the past 6 months? Okay, how do I explain to my D&D group? Oh, it scrolled up. Hold on 1 second. That we're anarchists because we decide everything as a group. I don't think that's the definition of an anarchist. But it's definitely an anarchist ideal. Like, does your group challenge authority in some way? Like, do you... Because, like, most D&D groups, like, if you have anarchists in the party, generally the villain will end up being some sort of king or queen. Like, it's definitely true in my D&D games. We are big bad right now. We're in this climactic battle with the Sultana of the Plane of Fire. And we're very powerful, so I don't think she's quite knows what she's in for. That's all right. I'm still a big fan of what you do. Tight. Big Money Salvi is the one true pineapple head. Only during the pineapple summer. You seem really high energy and bubbly today. Good to see you feeling happy. Also, what's your opinion of Slavoj Žižek? I don't like Slavoj Žižek. I think everything he says is either very banal and obvious, or just wildly wrong and based on nothing. And I don't understand what it is people see in him. I will say, though, he's very funny. I think that's the main thing that people like about Slavoj Žižek, is that unlike most philosophers, he can crack a joke, right? So I'll give him that. He's charismatic. Idea: trick Q-chuds to go after the crypto douchery so that they actually achieve their goal of stopping pedos and we manage emissions at the same time. I don't know if we really want to sick QAnon on anybody. I don't think individual people who use cryptocurrency are the problem either, right? He's from Newfoundland City, Newfoundland, and Labrador, the frozen islands of the North Earth. Close enough. Can you legally use the name Slime Time Live yet? What? What do you mean yet? What do you know that I don't? Is it okay? I find it hysterically Canadian that Alberta's premier wants to impose trade sanctions on the U.S. because of Keystone's cancellation. It's I don't know if it's hilariously Canadian. It's very Alberta. Yeah. Last donation, but the reason I recommended Crypto Communism to read is because I think it addresses many, not all, of your criticisms you've outlined. I would be curious how it gets around the criticism of the enormous expenditure of energy, because there's no getting around that. Like, that fucking sucks. Wait, seriously, he's from Newfoundland. Indeed I am, me old cocks, and long may your big jib draw. That's a thing we trick people not from Newfoundland into saying. Yes, I'm from Newfoundland. And before you say it, the term Newfie is pejorative. Please don't use that. The correct term is Newfoundlander. Integrated systems, i.e. ant miners, make GPU-based systems uncompetitive in crypto mining. Netflix is worse for energy use, even with co-location. Okay, but is there another way to watch Netflix without that energy consumption? You know, that's the difference. We don't have to do Bitcoin. We don't have to do Netflix either. People want to watch movies. Okay, that I can kind of understand. what's Bitcoin for? It's just money. We can make money without doing this. It doesn't matter that it doesn't matter that other things have similar energy expenditures. We don't need to do it. Is it okay to call Newfoundland dogs Newfies? I mean, not around me. One of my favorite propaganda characters is from Newfoundland. Are you referring to Republic of Doyle? One time they were filming Republic of Doyle on my street, and I came out because I had to go to work, and this fucking PA was like, "Sir, we're filming." I'm like, "Yeah, I live here. I have to go to work." Can I say Mars Bar? Mars Bar. You're expecting me to say Mars Bar? Is that what you're expecting? There's a cop dog show in Newfoundland. Now I met the dog once. Oh, yes. A friend of mine was an extra on that. Ironically, though, a friend from Toronto, not. I'm glad I asked because a lot of people in the US call them that. Yeah, but the people from the US aren't around me. They're in the US. They can say whatever they want. What do I think of Quebec separatist movements? I respect anyone's desire to have autonomy. That being said, a lot of Quebec separatist movements have some very concerning elements. A lot of them seem to have some strong Islamophobia, and that is no good. Don't come after me, but what's wrong with Rorschach in The Watchmen? I think he's really cool, but you've said multiple times I'm missing the point. Rorschach is a and I'm sorry to put so fine a point on this. Rorschach is a fascist. He is obsessed with like that fascist rag where they have the racist political cartoons. He excuses the comedian raping Lori because he's a patriot. He's constantly talking about how he's going to rain down revenge on like degenerative influences on society, how the world is full of horrors and shit. He spies on his neighbor and thinks she's a welfare cheat. His whole thing is about like violently punishing criminals because his mom was a sex worker. Like yeah. It's definitely not someone you're meant to relate to. Cool mask though, I'll give him that. He's a, for those that aren't aware, you should watch Sophie Curio's video on Watchmen. Goes into all of it really well. But Rorschach is a parody of Steve Ditko, the co-creator of Spider-Man's character, Mr. A, who is the objectivist superhero. And he's named Mr. A after the objectivist maxim, A equals A. For those of you that don't know, objectivism is like the philosophy of Ayn Rand. He's a superhero that believes that there is only good and evil, no area of gray. It's black and white. Yeah. You should just generally watch Sophie Curio's content. It's great. Agreed! I recently watched their videos on the Witchers. Them Witchers. That was real good. Why do you keep quoting him, or is that not on purpose? Quoting whom? Rorschach? Have I been quoting Rorschach? I mean, the one thing I do say that I think Rorschach says sometimes is I often say, this city's going to look up at me and ask me to save it, and I'll look down and say no. Other than that, I can't think of anything I say that's like what he says. My friend is trying to get me to go to grad school in Newfoundland. Is that a good idea? I mean, it's not a bad idea. It's very cheap. I assume it would be in Memorial or Grenfell. Totally unrelated question, but what has been a glimmer for you this week? Glimmer equals something joyful and or fulfilling. I've been playing this VR boxing game that has been really good exercise. And I just, every time I play it, I exercise for like hours and don't even realize them. And I end up like fucking head to toe drenched in sweat. It rules. So that's been pretty tight and sick. I think you said the Pagliacci the clown joke. Yeah, but it was because I was referencing Rorschach in one video. Also, I made a video about Watchmen. Like, the movie does a bad job of showing him as the villain. That's true. I'm not trapped in the eyeball zone with you. You're trapped in the eyeball zone with me. Don't know what the eyeball zone is, so I don't remember saying that. But that's true. If you've only ever seen the movie, it does give a much more positive portrayal of Rorschach than the comic. Thrill of the Fight? It is indeed Thrill of the Fight. That game is a lot of fun. Being slimy yourself, do you identify with the Swamp Thing? I don't know if I identify with the Swamp Thing so much, but I will say that that's my favorite comic series of all time, Saga the Swamp Thing. Been tempted to get Ring Fit Adventure? Ring Fit Adventure's fun. Good luck getting it though. It's been hard to find because of COVID. I think he said it twice in this stream. Said what twice in this stream? Rorschach was the hero in the movie because Zack Snyder is a fascist, is the thing. No harm, but is it true that Newfoundlanders kiss cod as a rite of passage, or is that bogus? Curious, only not trying to stereotype. We do not kiss cod, however, we do convince tourists to kiss cods so that they can become Newfoundlanders. It's not a rite of passage for us, it's a rite of passage that steal money from tourists and claim that it's, oh yeah, you're a Newfoundlander now. The idea is you get down on your knucks, which is your knees, and then they paddle you in the bum with an oar, and they make you take a shot of Screech, which is Newfoundland whiskey. It's actually Jamaican whiskey, but we call it Screech. The idea being, back in the day, it was so bad because the good rum would did I say whiskey? It's rum. The good rum would go out to the rich people, and then we'd keep the shitty like dregs at the bottom of the barrel, and it tasted so bad that when you drink it, you would screech. That's why we call it Screech. So you take a shot of that. Nowadays it's actually pretty good. And then you kiss a cod, and you say, they go, "Is you a Newfoundlander?" And then you say, "Indeed I is, me old cock, and long may your big jib draw." Screech is rum, dude. I know, I got there. It was a fucking slip of the tongue. Give me a break. That is all I was believing you into the last bit. Oh, I swear to God, it's true. And they pay money to be abused this way? Indeed they do, yes. A guy comes out in a, what do you call him? I can't believe the name is escaping me, but like it's like the sailor yellow rain suit. Sou'wester, thank you. Comes out in a sou'wester, and he's got a squeeze box which is what we call accordions. And he dances around, tells a bunch of jokes, and then he hits you in the bum with the canoe oar and makes you drink the screech and says, "Is your Newfoundlander?" And he says, "Indeed, he is me old cock, and long may your big jib draw." If you don't believe me, you can go to St. John's. They do it every night. You can't go right now, obviously, but... Are you playing Baldur's Gate 3 yet, or waiting for the full release? I've never played a Baldur's Gate game, so probably neither. What's my favorite Pop-Tart? I have not had a Pop-Tart since I was, like, maybe 10, if I'm being honest. That's a very American junk food. Like, we have them here, but I feel like they're way more popular in the States than they are here. I think I liked the chocolate ones better than the strawberry. I only remember chocolate and strawberry. But so chocolate, I guess. I don't know. I've never had a toaster strudel. Pop-Tarts American? All junk food is American, yes. Do I like gluten-free donuts? I don't eat a lot of donuts. The only real donuts I ever have, basically ever, are from... Actually, no, I don't even eat donuts from there. I'm trying to think when was the last... There was a bakery in Toronto that I used to get donuts from called Through Being Cool. I'm vegan, by the way, which is why I don't... It's hard for me to find donuts. Is context you might be missing. But the bakery that I go to nowadays, if I want a baked good, and I will usually get cupcakes if I'm going there, not donuts. But all of their stuff is gluten-free, so there's nothing really to compare it to. But it's delicious. The place is called Bunner's, by the way. It's fantastic. Do you ever find a wrestling promotion that appealed to you? It's not a matter of appealing to me. I would love to watch the Japanese wrestling. I just don't know where people do it. Why aren't there vanilla Pop-Tarts? There probably are. I don't know. Why do non-vegans get so defensive when someone so much as mentions they're vegan? I think it's a factor of two things. One is that some vegans can be real dicks about it, and the second is that I think for some people they know on some level that what they're doing isn't great, and rather than interrogate that, they choose to like lash out at anyone that opts out. What's my favorite sweet/junk food? It's a big category. My favorite candy is Skittles. I fucking love Skittles. Okay, that's the truth about me. And my favorite junk food, I don't know. I would say probably, like as a category of junk food, chips. Just chips. But specifically, and reserve your judgment, oh ye of little faith, ketchup flavored Doritos, which is just try them, man. They'll blow your mind. I run a gluten-free donut shop in Sacramento. Come by sometime. Yeah, probably not for a while, April. Probably not for a while. Traveling to the States is not on my to-do list right now. Do I like RPGs? You should check out Mutant Chronicles. Is that a TTRPG? I'm already in a TTRPG game. I don't have a problem with vegans on principle, but I have an issue with the large amount of racist and ableist ones I have unfortunately encountered. Oh boy, I'm going to hear from a few of those tomorrow. In my video tomorrow, I go off on a tangent about vegans who complain about indigenous hunting rights, and I'm just gonna deal with so much white rage on that one. I mean, I do kind of phrase it in the most like inflammatory way, but that's my own rhetorical styling. I've never seen ketchup Doritos. They sound like they'd be worth trying. It's a Canadian exclusive thing, and they don't always have them out. Usually they used to be a Valentine's Day promotion, but then they were just around, and now Valentine's Day is coming up, so I don't know, maybe they'll bring them back again. Do you have any favorite vegan products you'd recommend for a fellow veggie? It's so hit or miss. I mean, I don't think I need to tell you that the Beyond Meat hamburger is sublime. You know of this. And such things as nutritional yeast and this. You need not this information. I will say that Becel vegan margarine, that shit is incredible. Like, trust me on that one. Pickled Doritos though? I don't think I can eat the pickled Doritos because they have milk products, I think. Usually pickled chips I can't eat, which is sad because I love pickle-based chips. I wish I could get the Beyond Meat products in my country. I wish you could have that too. What made you decide to go vegan? I've had a story that I've told for a while. It's not really true, but I would say that I didn't want to watch Earthlings. So I'm like, well, if I can't even look at it, I can't really justify doing it or being part of it. But the real truth of the matter is I was eating a bag of Smart Food. I was vegetarian at the time. And I was eating a bag of Smart Food. And I heard for the first time about Rena, which is a gut bacteria they use to create certain forms of cheese that is not vegetarian. It kills the animal to get it. So it's their cheeses that aren't vegetarian. And I was like, well, fuck this. I can't eat nothing. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm vegan then. Is it an enzyme? Whatever. What do I look like, a cow biologist? How did I become vegetarian? I just always wanted to be. And the minute I moved out and cooked my own food, I'm like, haha, I'm vegetarian. Well, what are you gonna do about it? World. Kosher cheese is Rena-free, but it's not vegan though. Feel like it's the easiest time in history to be vegan? Absolutely. Do you think we could adapt the barter system to work in modern society? The barter system is a myth. It never existed. It is just not. It's just how people in the Enlightenment just. Oh, that must have been how it worked before there was money. I guess they probably just traded stuff. They just used money but didn't know they were doing it. No, the barter system is a myth. Read, David Graeber goes into this in Death the First 5,000 Years. The thing is, this is one of the reasons I hate talking about being vegan, is there's no way to talk about it without someone getting like mad, saying that like, oh, you think you're better than me? Like there are people in the chat right now that are like, oh, it's easy for you to say I have this problem, I have this problem. Like, I didn't say shit. I didn't judge anybody. It's all in your head. This is just something I'm doing. You will never catch me telling other people what to do, what to eat. I don't do that. Who's the best Deep Space Nine character? You know as well as I do that it's Elam Garrick. I don't agree with indigenous hunting rights? Oh, cool. Stay right there. Because I'm going to ban you for your shitty opinion. I lost you. You got lucky this time. You want a plenty of vegans guilt trip? Yeah, they do. That sucks. They shouldn't. Who's your favorite Power Ranger? Obviously, Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger. Come on, come on, come on. You know this. He's my Minecraft skin. I've got a little plushie of him. I actually get into all of this in my video tomorrow about like ableism and racism in vegan communities and how hard it is to just be a vegan and just have to constantly explain, no, I'm not, it's not like that. That's not what I do, man. I won't say I disagree with them, but out of genuine ignorance, why is indigenous hunting okay while other forms of animal consumption aren't? Well, for one, indigenous people lived with the land and with the animals in harmony for thousands of years until white people showed up. And then white people immediately caused like all sorts of problems with the way that they treat animals. So I think it's a bit rich to then turn around and again say, well, no, we know how you should treat animals, and it's like this. It's like they've been, for thousands of years, they've been one with the ecosystem, and it's been fine. So I don't think we have a right to sit in judgment in that way.
I got the money.
I've been a socialist for a while, but you've introduced me to anarchism, though I probably have to read actual theory at some point. So thank you. Yeah, man, read it or listen to it or do whatever. There's good stuff out there, you know what I mean? Do you know if there's any way to obtain more animal-friendly painkillers or other meds? My 9-year-old has decided to go vegetarian, and she has meds. So many animal products, though. I don't really know what you're referring to. A lot of like gel caps have gelatin in them, but like, what do you mean the painkillers of animal products? This is kind of news to me. I didn't know that. I might have to change my habits. Can you do your best Guy Fieri impression? I'm not sure I've ever heard Guy Fieri speak. But yeah, here we go. What's up, Flavor Donkeys? I'm here at Big Gulp's Ranch. We're gonna chow down on some Mondo burgers. Yeah! There, is that right? That seems what he's like. Ibuprofen is made from baby sea turtles? That doesn't sound true. Does the concept of the noble savage do more harm than good? Absolutely. I don't think that me saying indigenous people lived in harmony with the ecosystem is a noble savage myth. Like, they just did. I don't know. If there's an indigenous person that has a problem with me saying that in chat, let me know what I'm saying wrong. Humans never being one with the ecosystem is a very colonialist mindset. Yeah. Ibuprofen has cow in it? That doesn't seem right. See, like, the thing is, Abominable Nuclear Carnage, it says, well, humans have been destroying nature wherever they went since forever. It's not white people specifically. It's not. But it is about the way that our colonialist culture kind of treats nature as something to be exhausted, something to be tamed and overcome and used as a resource instead of something to be lived with and lived within. Like, it's not because white people are genetically predisposed to using resources inefficiently. It's because the systems that we have that are designed around we can go anywhere and conquer whoever we want because we have all of the guns and money have made us think that we can just take from nature, take anything we want, use it all up, and then just fucking it'll be there forever. And, you know, that's the problem.
And a writer, I'm looking for somebody who brings everything to the table.
I don't want the songs with the lyrics. I think you're being trolled. These human beings are trying to get your goat. No, you would be surprised how many people believe all of this shit.
I got the money.
Isn't that a thing Pretzel lets you toggle? Is it? Oh yeah, I have instrumental only on already. To be honest, I love Elon Musk and his great work. Such a great man. Ooh, why I oughta. Maybe just don't say indigenous people, fill in the blank. Tremendous diversity among them, etc. That said, love your work. True, yes, but would it be wrong to say that, like, indigenous cultures lived in harmony with the land? That is something that tends to be true across, like, indigenous cultures, not just in North America, but, like, worldwide. Like, am I wrong? Are there, like, any indigenous cultures that have, like, ever treated nature as destructively as, like, modern cultures do? Or modern European cultures? Who would win this battle? A vegan Darth Vader versus Goku after drinking hella blue Powerade? Probably Goku. Which bread tuber would you fight? Thought Slime. Perfect even match. Fair fight. They deliberately manage the land. Living in harmony makes it sound like it magically happened and they just used the right amount. I mean, I think that's a pretty willfully uncharitable reading of what I'm saying. I would say that deliberately managing the land is living in harmony with it. I don't think you can just... Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's factually wrong and part of the noble savage myth, but I feel like I'm echoing the words of indigenous people that I listen to. Like, I think it would be the noble savage if I was like, they never did anything wrong. There were no problems in indigenous society, which I don't believe. Or that we should, like, return to some prelapsarian past. Like, no. They killed off all the megafauna. It's just a thing that people do. But, like, plenty of other megafauna has died off and been killed off by, like, other animals. I don't think that's necessarily a good argument that, like, we're not behaving as part of an ecosystem, right? Like... The anti-colonial government of Zimbabwe basically annihilated the wildlife preserves and let anyone kill animals in exchange for a small amount of money. As I understand it, though, they did that as a reaction to the way that colonialists treated endangered species as more important than their own lives. Like, it was a political statement. Misguided, but I don't think that's a great piece of evidence. Native people used impressive agricultural practices that were very sustainable, but their use of animals was no less inexcusable. I don't know about no less inexcusable, because they certainly didn't have factory farming. I don't think it's comparable at all. And tribes wiping out other tribes. I'm not saying there was no war in indigenous societies. So that would be noble savage shit, right? I think that all cultures affect the ecosystems they're in as a part of being in that ecosystem, but nothing compares to the effects of colonial and industrial culture. I mean, all species affect the ecosystem, right? It's everything in an ecosystem affects it. Even the Mexico with their massive cities took better care of their environment than the contemporary Europeans. Fight me on it, commenters. Thank you, Borg Coitus. Finally, Borg Coitus is here to talk some sense. Just because it's not factory farming doesn't mean it's good. Don't slip into my uncle's farm is totally ethical rhetoric. The difference is, I didn't say it was good. I said it wasn't comparable to factory farming. Things are degrees of bad, right? I would think that to look at like our culture with factory farming and all that shit, and to say, oh yeah, well, indigenous cultures, they raised animals too. They ate animals. It's not even slightly the same thing. I think it's such a dishonest talking point. Yeah, it's true that we eat animals and torture them their whole lives before we do, but they also ate animals, so we're moral equivalent. Like, no, not really. Wolves are obligate hunters. People are capable of not eating meat. You cannot hold multiple species to the same standard. Actually, wolves are not obligate hunters. Wolves are omnivores, like people. But let's say, for the sake of argument, that they were, or rather, if an animal is an omnivore, right, and they choose to eat meat, are you gonna fucking put that animal in jail? Like, animals still eat meat, even if they can eat plants. Like, are we gonna arrest animals? Like, what, are we gonna train all animals in the world not to eat meat? Like, the only animals you can compare with humans are lobsters. Thank you. Have I ever been homeless? Not yet. Touch wood. Being an animal is a crime. And the sentence is death. I saw a horse eat a baby bird. I don't think training or jail would work. Oh man, I saw that video too. That bummed me out so hard. And now I'm thinking about the people who make their pet dogs or cats go vegan and the health issues those poor animals have. Dogs can go vegan, cats can't. You can have a dog that's vegan and it'll be perfectly healthy, assuming that you feed it a good diet. But cats are obligate carnivores. They have to eat meat. Their bodies cannot process vegetable matter. Not the same to hunt. We are not above other animals and systematically pull animals out of natural habitat and do all atrocities in the book to them. Yeah. I'm happy to feed anyone and will always respect your dietary restrictions when the pandemic is over. Yeah, it's like, see, this is why I find talking about veganism frustrating. Because so many vegans are talk about veganism in the exact wrong way. And that is to go like, well, I'm doing the good thing and you're doing the bad thing. And then everyone who hears that is like, wow, vegans are assholes. I better not become a vegan because then I'll become an asshole. And so I try not to even bring it up. Like, I'm ashamed to discuss it. I feel embarrassed when people find out that I'm a vegan. Even though I think it is the morally correct thing to do for most people. I think it's the best thing to do. I still feel ashamed when it comes up because I see so many people lording it up over people. Oh, you eat meat, you're a murderer, you're a murderer. Like, not really. Like, fucking relax. I once saw a vegan tell an Inuk person that eating whales was equivalent to cannibalism due to cetacean sentience. Here's how you know that's not true, right? You're at a party and someone tells you they ate some whale meat. Do you call the police? Do you avenge the whale? If someone's at a party and they tell you that they ate a human being, do you respond the same? Any vegan YouTubers you recommend? There are a few, like Mexi is great. I like there's a guy called Simnet Nutrition. is just a big goofball, big muscly guy, and he does recipes and stuff. I don't know. I watch a lot of vegan recipe videos, more so than like ideologically vegan videos. There's one vegan YouTuber I don't recommend, and it's that guy called Serf Slime. Got me! If you're vegan, you probably don't eat that much meat-flavored stuff. However, is it good to have those accustomed to eating a lot of meat? I mean, it's good to have them, I guess. I think they're very unhealthy to the degree. I know not food is never inherently healthy or unhealthy, but like, come on, a lot of that stuff is like real calorically dense and real easy to eat a shitload of. But it's good every now and then. I try not to eat too much of it. I still eat some of them. Still eat them Beyond Meat burgers. They're real good. But yeah, I guess it's good. I don't know if it's doing a good job of really converting people. Why do all vegans suck at activism for their cause and always come off in the worst way? I don't think all of them do. But I think that there are a lot of people who treat veganism as a way to feel morally superior to other people. Rather than like a genuine commitment to decreasing suffering, it's a way for them to look at other people and not have to confront and unpack their own shit. Like they can just point at other people and going, well, I'm not doing the evil thing they're doing, so I'm a good person. And that makes them like obnoxious and shitty. And everyone has an experience with someone like that. And if you don't have an experience with someone like that, you probably are someone like that.
I got the money.
Slime, please watch Earthling ad content if you want to see how to engage your community on the subject. I'm a horrible person to give this advice though because I don't practice anything he suggests. Capitalism is working as planned. Cooperative, collaborative building is the future. Platform.coop. Thank you, Slime. Love your videos on how capitalism hurts us. You're welcome, Family Tree. Never forget that vegans started the events of 28 Days Later. I don't think it was ever said that they were vegans. They were against animal testing, and I think they kind of have a point. I would argue that maybe the guys who made the rage virus bear a bit more responsibility than the animal rights activists who accidentally set it free. Vegans inform me about factory farming. I am almost entirely pesco-vegetarian because I catch fish, and that feels okay. To me, how much fish are you catching? You're feeding yourself entirely with fish that you catch? That's wild. That sounds like a lot of work. They have to study rage to know how to cure it? I assumed they developed it. It was some sort of bioweapon. I'm confused. What's the best economic system and why? It's capitalism, obviously. Oh no, I said it out loud. Oh no! My grift is ruined!
I got the money.
Just kidding, it's communism. Is it fair to call myself a vegan and talk about veganism and its connection with morality when I still eat meat when I'm with my family and they've only prepared meat? I mean, I'm not the vegan police. Like, that's between you and your God. I think the last time I deliberately ate a non-vegan food, I had a cheese sandwich because I was in an airport and there was literally nothing else. And I was like, the cows will understand. In a better world, there would be other foods. But it's you know, look, if they're cooking the meat and they're just gonna throw it away, like that sucks. But like, I'm not gonna get up your butt about eating it. Like, you know, I wouldn't get up your butt either way. I don't care what other people do. But you know, I'm not gonna be like, excuse me, you ate a beef sandwich at your parents' house, and yet you call yourself a vegan. Like, all right, go fuck yourself, buddy. Would it be disingenuous to use they, them pronouns to try to normalize them even though I don't identify as non-binary? I don't think it matters. Like, use whatever pronouns you want. Anyone that tells you you can't use a pronoun, kick rocks as far as I'm concerned. It's if you want to call yourself they, them, I don't care what your reasons are. That's your business. I'm with you. Some people in comment section do not realize they are falling into we know better than other cultures thinking, which kind of sucks. Yeah. Right? I agree. Rich Pryor, thank you for the $1 US. I hope that you're Richard Pryor. It would validate me a great deal. Do you have pets? What kinds? If not, what kind of pet have you always wanted? Everyone guinea pigs thrive on a vegan diet and they're so fuzzy. And this is going to be a whole other can of worms, but I had 2 cats. And yeah, I fed them meat because cats need to eat meat. So it's either kill the cats or kill some cows, so I fed the cats. Are you a vegan because you love animals or because you hate plants? Bad vegan joke. I love animals. It's mostly environmental stuff, really, to be honest. I mean, we could stop excessively breeding cats. These were rescue cats. They weren't from a breeder. So, again, this is the type of thing. People would give me shit about feeding my cats, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I guess what I'll do then is I'll just euthanize my pets because you feel that their diet is immoral. That's a reasonable thing to just tell people to do. Feed your cats with non-vegans. I mean, there's really no carnivore animals that we eat, really. I guess some people eat dogs. Would you say that hunting is better than buying meat from the stores, or would buying from the stores still be a better option? I think definitely hunting is, of the two things, hunting is the more moral choice because it's certainly better than factory farming. Is it okay to go to IKEA as a vegan? Why wouldn't it be? What does that mean? Are you eating the horse meatballs? Go, like, once again, I don't care what you do. I'm not going to tell you what you can and cannot do. Your thoughts on Donut Operator and Awaken with JP. Isn't Awaken with JP like a complete chud? Isn't he the guy with the... He looks like the guy from Workaholics? Am I thinking of the right guy? PETA gets hated on way too much by Reddit, but they do kind of suck. It is impossible to hate on PETA too much. And any shred of respect I had for that institution went out the window when they started complaining that the COVID vaccine would they started posting links about the link between vaccines and autism, which is like, hey, PETA, if your whole thing is about not being cruel to animals, like, people are animals, and you're being pretty cruel to autistic people, you pieces of shit. The bet question was meant to be lighthearted. Sorry, glad you took good care of your kitties. I know you meant it in a lighthearted way, but it does come up. Like, whenever I say that I'm vegan and I had cats, like, people do get up my butt about it. And it's just because I'm in that space, you know? JP has been appealing to those anti-vaxxer types. Yeah, that sucks, and it's like the worst time to do that. Isn't PETA racist? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. They certainly fuck up talking about anything that they talk about. I fucking hate them. I also go into how much I hate PETA in tomorrow's video. Which, by the way, for those wondering, tomorrow's video is a response to that shitty video by Unnatural Vegan. The one that said that anti-capitalism is anti-vegan. Are wet puppets vegan friendly? Asking for a gooer friend. Depends on what they're made of, I guess. That's the answer. I think a lot of them do use gelatin. I ain't down with that.
I got the money.
Do I like guns? I don't like them, but I appreciate them as a necessity. Pete also hates pets? Yeah, of course they do. They hate everything that's cool. I can just imagine Mexi's face hearing the argument that anti-capitalism is anti-vegan. Yeah, there is a part of me that imagines that's what Mexi would see in hell. Fuck Autism Speaks. Yeah, obviously fuck Autism Speaks. It's like saying fuck the Ku Klux Klan. Like, obviously. Do we all have tickets to the gun show? Yeah, alright. Look at that. Beefy arm. Look at that. Look how much definition and muscle there is right there. Wow, impressive stuff. Ladies, stop swooning. Is lab-grown meat vegan? Not if you force monkeys to grow it. If it's a laboratory where all of the monkeys have to grow the lab meat, then it's not vegan. Because of the monkey labor. I knew he was going to make that joke. Oh yeah, of course, it's obvious, it's the obvious joke. You think I'm going to let that low-hanging fruit go to waste? I don't think so, buddy. The monkeys work in a co-op lab. If the monkeys are unionized, I guess I have no issue with it. I don't appreciate the fact that they're a necessity, but I understand it. I meant appreciate in the understand sense. How is skateboarding going? I mean, I'm not, like, doing it in winter. But I'm looking forward to when spring comes back. Skateboarding is my main method of transportation. So, how's it going? Like, it's pretty sweet. It's how I get around. It's a lot of fun. What are your thoughts on disingenuous leftists? Not people that parrot surface-level leftist talking points in an attempt to cause division within those spaces, but people that frivolously weaponize leftist ideology in an attempt to shame others and convince themselves/others of their moral superiority. Do you consider this a legitimate issue? Can't wait for tomorrow's video, by the way. I do kind of think it's the problem, right? I think there's an element of, like, lefter than thou sometimes, and it's like, it's just so exhausting. It's just so exhausting that, like, everyone on Twitter is exclusively mad at other leftists. Like, just relax. Just relax. I promise you, it doesn't matter if BreadTube is leftist enough. It seriously does not. Concern yourself with your own affairs. And just be chill. What kind of board do I have? I have a nickel board. which is a bigger penny board, which, if you don't know what that is, they're like plastic skateboard, cruiser boards that are very light and easy to carry around, very small. They look like toys. It is a lot of fun. No, I cannot do tricks, except falling down. No leftists I know IRL care about BreadTube Twitter drama. Yeah, that sounds sick as hell. Can you show us that trick? Well, in spring, sure. Can you talk about Interpol, if it's a legitimate institution or an imperialist tool? So you're asking me if I think the international police are a legitimate institution. What do you think I think of them? Take a guess. IRL stream when? I'm in real life right now, baby. Yeah. So when is the three-way podcast between you, Caleb, and Vaush? When does Hell Freeze over? That'll be when. And on that note, I'm going to call it for tonight, I think. Who's online? Hey, the Goat and the Goblin. They can receive this raid. Everyone have a beautiful night, and kiss and hug yourselves and each other. Be safe, be wonderful, stay beautiful. Or get ugly if you want. I'm not your dad. See ya.